early.
What's good, folks? We are back with another episode of Early. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We got a special guest here with us. We got the one and only Teranee Fransha.
How you living?
Yeah, that's you. That's you. What's going on, Teranee? How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm great.
Yeah?
That's great.
Feeling great, too.
Appreciate you sliding through to the studio.
That's
giving us your
facts.
time
Facts.
to converse.
You know why?
Of course. Of course.
This was, it's funny because,
yeah, give it a little
yeah, like we could even say, like, you didn't know where you were coming when you decided to agree to this. And you were pleasantly surprised, I would say. Yeah, in fact.
It's crazy because she had told me she had arrived and I was still on my way over here. She was like, yo, I know it's early, but I'm here. And I was like, all right.
Punctual. I will say that. Punctual.
I love that. Love that. Like, when I mean early, not like that 5 minute early. Like, yo, I'm 20 minutes early. Like, you know, I'm here for y'all. You know, I set this time aside, so we appreciate that. I told my boy Mac, I was like, yo, could you open the door? She just pulled up. And I told her, she was like, Mac? With all the question marks, I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, I know Mac. And then I hit Mac real quick. I was like, bro, do you know Teranee? He was like, yeah. Like, that was, you remember that group chat we had and we were supposed to create this short? I was like, bro, you know what? That was her. I thought I met her on set. I did.
I mean, you did, yeah. It's not like you didn't.
Yeah, no, for sure. We'll get into that. Shout out Cadell for sure.
Yes,
But, yeah, so like I'm glad. I would consider this one of our full circle episodes again. So again, appreciate you coming through. Before we get deep into the weeds, though, we always like to provide context for our audience and people that are watching in terms of who you are and what you're up to in the world.
Who I is.
Yeah,
Well, let me just say thank you
of course.
for allowing me on your platform.
Of course,
I
of
feel
course.
like anytime we get moments to highlight creatives, no matter what they're doing, and they're passionate about it, I think it's just profound.
Hell
So
yeah.
thank you.
Absolutely.
course.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate you coming for sure.
Yeah, full circle, too. So I feel at home already.
There you go.
You
That's
are.
what we
You
try to cultivate.
just know that you are.
Yeah, exactly. For sure.
I feel it. So, yeah, for those who don't know me yet, no.
You'll know real soon.
Teranee Fransha. I am actress, writer, director, best-selling author.
Hey, lit.
Yes.
Oh,
So
wow,
shout
we're
out
gonna
to
get
the
into
Sister
that.
Friends DMV.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's just what I do. I guess
All around creator.
yeah, all around
Yeah.
creative. Everything universal on set. I pride myself on being someone who I don't know everything to the full capacity of everybody's role, but I know enough to get the job done.
Absolutely.
Because I always say I might be a man down, but I'll never be a man short. I try to learn and know everything on set. So, in respect to everybody's position and time they put into their craft. But yeah, I feel like I'm a Jill of all trades.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's you know.
I
was about to say, like, I definitely resonate with that, and I definitely say Mac could say the same too. Like, I like to view, Mac, like, and myself as like Renaissance men in terms of the way that, wherever our interests may lay, it's like we definitely like to invest time in that. Now, obviously, you want to prioritize because sometimes it's like I feel like the challenge of a creative is always like, where do I put my full attention?
Yeah,
of my time
like where's my best foot?
there's so many things that you feel like, yo, I really feel like I'm really good at this one thing here, but I'm also good over there. So,
And also too,
you
like,
like to stretch yourself,
you also
you know?
might feel like, oh, like I know I'm really good at this, but this thing is kind of interesting me right now, and I'm more
100%.
interested in just kind of digging deeper into this
don't
thing
mind
over
being a
here.
beginner.
But you really nice at that thing over
Right,
there, and everybody want to pull you into that thing over there.
100%.
HD is my superpower. Okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna toggle all of those things.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, but when you used to doing it and juggling hats, like, I mean,
No.
it's a little easy, or at least it looks it anyway.
100%. So
But yeah,
it's funny because like one thing that I'm always interested in, like, when we find ourselves in these like creative fields and you acting, is this something that you've always wanted to do since you was a little girl? Or because a lot of times people, it kind of like sometimes people are like, yo, since I was 5 years old, I was in front of the camera and I was rehearsed. But sometimes life just has these funny ways of, just hitting us with a little curveball. And it's like, yo, I kind of found myself in this space and I kind of like found my calling. So is this something that you always knew you were going to be doing? Or
Yeah. I knew I was going to always be entertaining.
Okay.
Now, necessarily acting, I feel like I knew it, but you don't have that awareness that this is the
100%.
path that I'm going to set on.
100%.
And I say that because, first of all, my mama has patience. Shout out
Hey,
to all the mamas.
shout out mama.
But when I was really young, I don't know if y'all remember that, I Can't Believe It's Not Butter.
Yeah.
Remember that commercial?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was like maybe 3,
Okay.
4. And I just remember sitting at the kitchen table bawling.
Right.
Like, I mean, these tears, just going, crocodile,
not butter.
going. And my mom's like, what is going on? And my mom's one of those mothers that's very attentive.
Right.
She's like, what is going on?
Right.
She's like, what? So now she's crying.
Right.
And she calls my grandmother. She's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, I can't believe it's not butter.
I'm weak.
Yo, that is crazy. Yo.
Try to put a gag on your mom.
A little panic attack.
It was a minute too. So I was very committed as a young
He
age.
said I was very committed.
I knew it.
Committed to that role.
So I didn't get into acting, but my mom put me in dance. So
Word.
and I just love my dance coach. Tammy Harris, shout out to D1 Dance Team.
Shout out to
Division
the
1.
foundation.
You know what I'm talking about? It is my foundation because I feel like with dance, because I feel like Tammy's choreography was so advanced. Like what we're seeing now
That's the type of shit she was on. Okay.
we've been doing it.
Word.
So I'm like, man, these shows were around. She would be far. Anywho,
Right.
ADHD. Back on
Talking about, what you talking about, like these kind of like dance moms
the
type
moves,
shows?
The style.
Okay,
We were killing it back in the day. I'm talking about like our dancing would win all these, competitions.
For
We
sure.
would go out of town and win competitions.
Right.
But what I loved about her style of dance, it was very theatrical.
Okay.
So it was a story behind
That's
the
dope.
moves, the choreography. So I was able to develop characters behind the choreography.
Wow.
So of course that kind of stands me out a little bit. I'm
sure.
the young, skinny little stick on,
Right.
with these, heftier, grown looking women, and I'm
Right.
still killing it,
Right.
But I feel like that choreography gave me permission, like just to be something different than what I was. If I had to channel a move that made me feel stupid, but it looked great because I did it efficiently or overdid it, then
Right.
I didn't care. As long as it looked good, that's all I cared about.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was my foundation,
That's very
And
tough.
then when I went into college, I did take some acting classes.
What time is this that you started dancing?
Oh, I started dancing when I was, 8?
Where
8? Up until
and that
I
was
like...
till you graduated high school, or like was that part of your life?
We were
Word.
so
Damn.
this
Okay.
is the thing. I was one of the community center kids. Is
Okay.
what I like to call it.
Word,
Like
word.
my mom kept me in stuff, So the dance coach, she had just her own team that she offered at the community center,
Tough.
and even though we practiced there, we were our own separate entity. We would just be winning all these,
Is this Maryland? This is all happening? Okay,
this
yeah.
is Kentucky.
You a Kentucky baby? Louisville or
Louisville.
Okay, I was about to like
So I'm really
Lexington.
from Louisville,
Shout out
like,
Lamar. We had Lexington on phone here before, so shout out
yeah?
Louisville.
Really?
Yeah, we got some. Yeah, we got.
Well,
we the first.
L1C4. This is not a gang sign. This is for the school. Okay, I ain't repping no sets.
Yo, so you know what? Now that you say that, I'm actually this is really funny because I got a good friend from Louisville, and he real die hard about
What's
this.
his last name? We
This
might
is-
be cousins.
Man,
No.
this is the thing. I ain't gonna dox him.
Kentucky
I'll
that
tell you
small?
after. I'm gonna tell you
I'm not gonna
after.
dox him.
Yeah,
Is Kentucky small?
No, this is the
Is
thing.
it?
They kind of have this same. You know how people feel about Baltimore? They'll be like, "Don't consider me. We're not Baltimore. We're not DMV. We're Baltimore."
Yeah.
Folks in Louisville
Yes.
will tell you, "Don't
They're not
say
Kentucky?
I'm from Kentucky."
No.
Really?
Look at it. Hey, okay, so
Absolutely.
he not lying. She really are.
And you can always tell when someone's really not from Louisville because they say, "Oh, I'm from Louisville."
Yeah.
Louisville. You see how-
Oh, you're not. Okay.
Sometimes
It's Louisville.
like Louisville, you be like, yo, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Louisville. Louisville.
When did you move there?
Hey, yo,
I've been there since I was 18. You're not from there.
That's hilarious. So, like, all right, so, you know, I'm so glad that you gave us that. That's a key detail. For real, because, to be honest, like,
that's
now,
a plot point right there.
Because, you know, we're in Maryland. We're in the DMV. DMV definitely has its distinct way about it, right? In terms of its culture and how everything moving. When did you find yourself in the DMV? Because
that's like a big submerged shit.
And
in
you
this
still
culture.
here, so it's like it must have like hit a a nice chord with you. You're like, you know what?
And full disclosure, she was telling me earlier, like she feels like I don't know. I'll go as far as to say like this is home-ish, but like she's very used to. Right. She went back home. It was like a culture shock. She was like,
when I first moved here, I had a culture shock. Okay.
What year is this?
I don't know.
Oh,
this is years ago. I was in my teenage.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So a little minute.
So you were old enough to have like already known Kentucky and like literally be shaped by Kentucky.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes. I had family here. My aunt and my uncle. They're like my second parents. And we used to come visit. And my uncle always said, "Why don't you move up here? You know, you go to college. You know." I was like their child.
Right.
Nice.
Funded.
Right.
Okay. And I was one of the nieces and nephews that took them up on it. Now, when I got here, I will say this. I had such a culture shock because it was so many black people. Like, I'll go to the grocery store, black people. I went to the doctor's office, black people. Black doctors, black everything black. And I was just like, what the fuck? So many racial
holding on to the seat of her pants. Like
I was just so taken aback, like to the point where, like, you know, when you get packages delivered, you know, UPS drop them off. It would be to the point where I go to the door and I would have to stop. Like, hold on now. Maybe I need to go put on a wedding dress.
I'm weak.
I mean, it was just. That's not something that would happen in Kentucky. Right. I mean, black people were few far and in between, but we're there. Let's be very clear. We're there, you know. But
even I'm kind of curious about this because facts. And I'm kind of curious about this because I'm from Maryland, born and raised, and Maryland has always been like super diverse. You know what I'm saying? So like, when people say things like I never saw color. I'm not trying to say like color isn't there, but like I never made friends based off of like I never resonated with people based on their color. You know what I'm saying? So my question to you is like when you would see black people few and far between in Kentucky, like would that pop into your head like, oh, like that's a black person, or would you just be like, oh, like that guy's over there and he's black too? Like what? I don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm
let me just say
Louisville's the most black part of Kentucky, though.
It's the 16th
that I know,
largest
and that's why it's the Baltimore, and that's why it's the Baltimore of Kentucky.
It is the 16th largest city in the United States. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, we are definitely there. So I'm gonna be real with you. I made myself centered around black spaces. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
While you were there.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Like I love us. Like I love being around black people. 100%. But when I go to school, when I go to the doctor, it's not a black doctor.
You just don't see them there.
I mean, this is years ago.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
You know, this is years ago.
Yeah,
I haven't lived there in some years.
Motherfuckers gonna be in the comments like, Kentucky's not even like that.
Exactly. You know, but like I said, I centered myself around black spaces. So yeah, I grew up with black people. Like, let's be very clear, in a black neighborhood. But when I went to school, yes, I had to deal with a lot more of palm-colored people than myself. You know, and I've experienced racism. I mean, absolutely, at a very, very young age. So it's just a different feeling when I'm around black people. I don't know how, and this ain't no shade to nobody at all, no respective race or anything, because I really don't believe in race. I know it's a class because I just study a little different. So I don't really see it as that, but I know where my comfort lies. Yeah. Like I know who we really are. Like I know the magic that flows through our veins, the creativity. Like I know how people look at us from afar, but I get to experience that up close. I have a different vision, you know? So when I see people and I meet them, I see everything that you want and aspire to be. Now, Do you live up to it? Maybe not, you know, but I can see
But that's
what
every
you're doing.
individual,
That's
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Every
everybody's
individual
growing,
has the
healing.
potential to
Yes.
not live up to what you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? But it's funny though, just this makes me think a little bit about when I was younger. Like I said, grew up in a very diverse area, but like more white folks than black folks,
Yeah.
right? I used to think though, like I never felt no sense of like they're better than me or anything. I used to think I was the coolest, bro. Only because like when I was young, like elementary school, all of like our classrooms were heavily influenced by like black culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody is in there talking about rap music. Everybody's in there talking about like
in the know.
and this is me. Motherfuckers, when I moved, because like we moved from PG to Montgomery County. When I moved to Montgomery County, bro, which is like a little like more white, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Motherfuckers coming to me like, bro, like you heard the new Mace tape, like you know what I'm saying? Like he's like, bro, like you fuck with 50 Cent, like motherfuckers. I was like, yeah, bro, like let me know, like you know what I'm saying? Like my uncle got that 50 Cent CD, like let me know if you want me to burn it for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like the coolest. You know what I'm saying? So like it's interesting because you hear a lot of narratives of people being like, oh, like they were, like people feel that and take offense to it. And I was like, I was not offended at all. Sometimes it did go a little far and sometimes it was a little like, you know what I'm saying, you're doing too much. Sometimes, but more times than not, I kind of like leaned into it. Like, like, you know what I'm saying? What you want to know? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you want to know?
Well, see, let me just say this, because even the high school I went to was diverse. But so I was around white people, black people, but and most of the white people that I was in school with, you know, of course, you know, whatever you learn is from your parents.
Yeah.
Some of it is absolutely conditional.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And that's one thing I do know. So I didn't really experience it in high school, you know, but I do remember experiencing certain things in elementary, and I would come home and tell my mom she's picking. But this is the thing, I was a very self-aware child too.
Right.
My mama spoke nothing but identity into me, you
That's
know.
great.
So I was able to separate certain things, and I'm an empath. So even as early as a child, I would understand why this grown adult was performing or behaving in a certain way, and I would go home and tell my mama, "Oh, this person that I think what it is this, mom."
Yeah, trying to therapize the situation.
She had problems in her marriage.
Right.
How you know she's projecting? Who taught you projecting?
Yes. So I experienced, but you know, I ain't really. It didn't affect me because, and this is something I'm about to touch on too. I benefited from pretty privilege at the same time. So these white people were more so like, gawking,
falling hell over heels.
Like, I ain't never seen one look like.
And
you
I was about to say, like black pretty is kind of like different than like other races of pretty, and there's no knock because but it's like
it's a fact.
It's a fact because you see like people of other races like they gawk over like pretty black women. You know what I'm saying? So that is absolutely a thing, especially as kids. I mean, like when I'm speaking on like when I was young, when I was in like middle school, high school, the girls that were like the most like sought after by all like the races were like usually the black girls. You know what I'm saying?
Like in college, you know, like I said, where I live is, you know, it's I'm not gonna say it's diverse at all, but it is definitely some black people there. Okay, but the white people there were just. I will say this, I did not experience. It was more warm, welcoming than the lather. You know what I'm saying? So I will say it's a vast difference with Southerners because when I came up north, I'm like, y'all are rude.
Oh, it was more rude up north?
Yes,
well, they said that. Southern hospitality.
Even at home, you know, when I would go home, I be seeing the old Paul. He had you on back. I'm like, oh, hey, Grandpa. He ain't my grandpa, but you know, that has that Southern hospitality there. So that's one thing I love about being home, though. When I go to visit, that I do experience that. So
did that take you aback when you came up here? Because like I definitely know, like one thing I know, like when you travel throughout the states is really definitely like a little modality. Each of the places be New York, you'll get the extreme of like whatever the North is or whatever people might think of the DMV. You want to see it
in New York, you'll get the most of it.
Go to New York because in New York could be a place like just because people people be how they be. In New York, people is like, yo,
I am focused.
I am going to my destination.
Yes.
Don't ask me for directions. Yep. Don't ask me how the day is.
I was about to say, but they be. It's one thing to be focused. It's another thing to be like aggressive with your communication.
I would say like,
sometimes they be also like dead ass son.
Never mind the aggression. Sometimes it be a matter of you don't even exist.
No.
If you're gonna try to make me realize that you're here, it's gonna be a problem. Because now you're annoying me. And it's like, yo, bro, I just asked the direction. And you just walked as if I know you hurt. I literally projected. I was looking right at you. You just walked away. And then that's when you say to yourself, you know what?
It's okay. Whereas in the South, they be like, "Oh, you need directions? I'll show you." They be like, "No, follow me."
I learned that early.
They'll be like, "Follow me, I'll take you there."
Every time I went to New York, I was just like, "Yo, just Teflon. I ain't expecting shit from shit."
Yeah,
I already know how y'all moving over here, but like you go down even to Atlanta, you go to Texas, shit like that. No, totally different.
They be like, what's the zip code? Let me call. I know somebody that lives over there.
I was in New Orleans one time, and I had to actually, me and my, shout out Lil, we had to reflect on ourselves because of this interaction. We just walking down the street one time, and these two dudes just walking up past us and shit, and they walk past, but as they walk past, they was like, yo, what's good? And we was like,
what you want to fight?
We was kind of but they just kept it going on some, like, we're walking past you, so why wouldn't we greet you? Because we're walking past. And I was like, yo, that's so human as fuck. Because I would never do that. DMV. I would walk past you. The most you do is look at a nigga and just be like,
a nod. You give him a nod. You know what I'm saying?
You know? So
it's like, funny, though. Just that makes me think about a tweet I saw recently where somebody was like, motherfuckers really will ask, how you doing? And then keep walking. It's like, but it's funny because it's like, you don't even have enough time to answer that question. But it's like, that shit was like a mind fuck of, that shit was like a mind fuck of a tweet. They'll ask how you're doing and then keep going.
Yo, you get to answer and then
I just answer and send them on, great, enjoy your day.
Facts. I'm good, how are you? As they zip past you.
If you following emotions, I'm gonna follow the emotions. I ain't about it. Oh, I already know they didn't want me to get too personal. Don't worry, I'm doing great. Peace.
They're locked in.
I'm curious though. What is the, if any at all, what is the, like, how do I want to put this? Like the I'm trying to think, like, not the content creation scene, but like the entertainment scene, but from a artistic standpoint. What is that scene like in Kentucky? Like, are there, you know what I'm saying? Is it like the LA kind of vibe where like everybody out there is trying to do that, or like New York where everybody out there trying to do that? I imagine it's not. I imagine it's not. But like, what are people into that out there? Like, would you be able to find a tribe of people that are into that kind of thing?
Absolutely, because I'm a magnet.
Okay, maybe not you. I know you are, but maybe not you. But would one be able to find, like, you know what I'm saying, someone who's not as bubbly and like
get the fuck up out of there.
energetic as you?
I can't say that because I haven't been home in so long.
Facts. Right? Well, I guess even when you were coming up though.
Well, when I was coming up, no.
Yeah.
Like that's why I left. Yeah. I was like, ain't nobody doing it. Like that on the scale of what I want to do. I don't know where my people is, and really what happened was, oh man, this is a great story. Look, because this is real for me.
Facts.
I went to a David Talbert play. Are you familiar with David Talbert?
I'm not.
No.
Playwright, director extraordinaire from this area.
Probably familiar with his work. Okay.
Oh man, he has amazing movies on Netflix. Jingle Jangle, like just a phenomenal director. Okay. And he had a play that was going on tour, and I ended up signing up for my email and just correspondence, and then so he was. I was keep getting newsletters, and then he ended up seeing where he had this talent search for the next great talent in Maryland. I was like, that's nothing. I have family there. That's my second home. I'm gonna go. So I went. I got a nice experience. It was the first time I've been around so many actors, let alone black actors, because it was a room full of creatives. I just remember there was moments where I finally got picked to come up, and he's like, all right, show us what you want to do, and it got what I was trying to do, I felt like got overshadowed by another actor, like he was trying to coach him to do something, and I was like, damn, you know.
Did you peep what I just gave you?
I just gave you
that shit. No coaching.
I just gave you a whole sink washing dishes and ain't nothing in front of me, baby. You ain't see it. So I felt some type of way, you know, and I remember carrying that with me, right? So, you know, he had auditions that after the whole workshop experience, he had auditions. And I remember him asking this, or doing this, asking all of us if we, you know, who in here has an absent parent, you know. So a couple people stood up and he's like, there was exercise. So he's like, hey, you know, he's like, if you could tell your absent parent anything right now, what would you tell them? Like, and it was deep as fuck. I was like, oh, wow, you know? And I've seen some people up there like go to some emotions that they probably ain't never experienced.
Wow.
So I had to go home and say, well, what would I say to my absent parent? You know, and I ended up getting a monologue out of it. And I'm saying that because, what you don't know, you know. I ended up doing my monologue as my audition. I ain't know shit, y'all. Like when I tell you, I didn't really know what eye line, my mark, don't move. I ain't know none of this. I was straight natural actress. I had no technique behind me at all. Yeah, it really was.
Whoa.
So I did this monologue. You know, I didn't even realize what an audition should look like, you know. So I did this monologue, and I killed my monologue. Don't get me wrong. I had them crying. I had them, you know, I evoked some emotions.
There you go.
And I remember David saying, like, he's like, you crazy? Like, you crazy? And I was like, yeah, I am. Like, you know, like, I'm glad you can see that.
Yeah.
And I knew what he meant by that. Like, you don't care about losing your own self to get to the character. 100%. So I knew he seen that, right? So nothing really came out of it. He had this workshop again, and this time I lived here, so I was like,
you made that impression though.
I'm going, and I'm going again.
I'm sure he recognized you as soon as you pulled up.
Excuse me, he did. He and I did the same monologue in front of, you know, the same group of amazing talent.
But this time with some skills that you had, like in terms of delivering,
with confidence, with a little technique behind
not
it,
as
because
raw,
I had classes. You know, I got a little bit. I learned some things. So when I did it, he gave me some adjustments right there on the spot that I took right on the spot, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I remember you.
Learned fast.
Yeah.
I remember you." And I was like, "Yeah." So I had an audition. Again, with him, and I got the audition. I was so hyped, y'all. I was so fucking hyped.
How long?
This is it.
How long in between that first one?
It was like 2 years.
Oh, word.
So I was like, oh, this is my redemption. Like, I'm in here with him, because one thing I can say about some of the leadership, and I say that because some of the directors that have come before us, I consider them leadership. I love that they come back to this area and make a point to say, oh, I see you, let's go, right?
That's real.
So I was like, see me.
I want to be seen. No,
and so I had this audition. I got the call back. I was so hyped. So this time I got the call back. I called one of my actor friends, because this time I live here now. So even though I didn't know too many people, I got connected with a few actors that was about that life and hungry like me, you know. So we would help each other with our auditions. So I remember going, and she was sick. So shout out to Donna. I haven't seen her in years, but I love her. When I tell you, a phenomenal actress, right? So I trusted her and still do. Like, she's great. And she helped me with this audition. I'm talking about sick as a dog. So I'm in front of her. She's recording it. She's giving me these adjustments. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. I know this director. Okay? I know what he's looking for. I also know that this profound actress in front of me is a theatrical actress. But I know what this filmmaker is looking for. And they're two different volumes and things. And there's so many different things that goes into theater that doesn't go into film and vice versa, right? And I knew that. But I'm listening to her because she's sick as a dog. And I'm talking about this woman probably COVID was probably back in 10 years ago. That's how, like, she literally picked herself up and helped me with this audition. So I wanted to listen to her and not feel like I dragged her out of this to not listen to her. So I did. And this is no shade to her. But this is the moment where I told myself I would never go against me. I would never bet against my intuition, because I recognized I was an intuitive actor. And so I did the audition. I was like, okay, well, I feel decent about it. I did 2 takes. I ended up getting a phone call from David's mentee at the time. And she's like, hey, girl, because I met them. I connected with them, and she's like, hey, I want to meet up with you. I'm gonna be in town. So we met up, and so the first thing she says to me when we're at lunch, she's like, what the fuck was that? I knew exactly what she was talking about. Like, I knew exactly.
Right.
I said, it was theater.
Right.
It was theater. It wasn't
you knew you kind of went away from you, and she noticed that, and she was kind of like, "Why did you do that? Because that ain't you." Yeah.
She's like, I watched it, and we both was like, "She is 10 times better than what is she doing?" Yeah. But what it was, because theater has upstaged this whole moment.
Right.
He was looking for the moments that in between the lines, which I knew this is something he said. Like, what's the colors? This is the black and white, but what's the colors in between the lines? I knew that's what he was looking for. Yeah. I know what film what that requires for film, and I just, at that moment, never again. So
you learned.
Absolutely, I did.
Absolutely. That's a tough way to learn a lesson. But
to because I start establishing just connections with others that look like me, right? That was doing what I wanted to do. So I ended up moving here. I was like, those are the people I know. All the actors I know live in Maryland. I don't know. I mean, I was taking classes in a summer class actually in Kentucky at Louisville Actors School. So with Dan Sawyer, I remember, and she was teaching monologues, but I wanted to do scene work. Like, and now this is how ignorant I was, because I still didn't recognize that there was a difference between monologues and scene work. I was like, so I signed up for a monologue class expecting scenes, and she's like, well, this is a monologue class. What's the difference?
We ain't changing the course for you.
No, facts.
But goes to show.
But these are the things that you live and learn.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
No technique behind.
You only learn these things as you do them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna.
Is the best
absolutely.
100%. So tell me, you come over here, and by the time you come into Maryland, I'm sure you already have those like realizations that I'm an actor.
Oh yeah,
and that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
When is that when you were auditioning? Was that actually the first role that you landed?
I didn't land that role.
Wow. So even the second time when you made that impression, they seen exactly, I guess, the strides that you had made. So can you tell me? Right?
That's what she was saying. They saw that she did something else. She deviated from what they originally wanted her
was
for.
What you actually gave.
That's not what he wanted.
Oh wow. Okay, that was that audition.
And
okay.
he knows the difference. Yeah, and I do too now.
Not 100%.
But I still knew at the time that's just wasn't how I was performing it. Is not what he wanted. I just knew it. So
tell me what that next opportunity is, when now that you've already like kind of vowed to yourself that you're like, I'm never gonna divulge from what I know I could bring to the table. So what is that next play where you're like, yeah, I ain't fumbling this?
Okay.
And tell me how I felt, because that's just really important. I feel like when you get the milestones in your career where it's like, yo, I'm about to be an actor in this fucking movie that's coming up, or a series, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, remember I said earlier, my mom instilled identity in me.
For sure.
Right? So anything, and I'm still like this, anything I decided to do, because I know we have choice and we have free will.
Right.
So I can change my mind tomorrow.
Right.
And that's, I'm going to go hard whatever I change my mind to do. Right? So I've always been a person who committed to whatever it is that I was doing. So, when I came here to act. I came here on a mission. I said, where am I being pulled to? Where are all the actors that I know? I didn't know anybody in Kentucky.
Right.
I didn't know anybody that was doing what I was trying to do. And I didn't have any friends around me at the time that could see to the capacity of the vision I had for myself. They couldn't even see for them, you know? So I didn't have that encouragement. I had like little darts thrown with some of the things I wanted to do, like bitch, you want to do that? You know? Yeah, look at me now. No.
You're always gonna have motherfuckers that want to question your decision making and stuff like that. Yeah. But bro, like your path. But the thing is too, like paths are not straight arrows, dog. Like sometimes you got to do the thing that don't make sense to nobody else for whatever reason, whether it's experience, whether it's like like this is a person connected to this that I want to be in a room with, like all kinds of reasons. Like I've done shit that makes zero sense to anybody else, but make complete sense to me.
It does,
and sometimes it didn't even make sense to me. I just was like, this is an opportunity. I don't feel like I should. Let me
try it. Well, I mean, why not? I know I'm gonna be good at it, or at least decent. I know I'm gonna learn quick.
I'll learn something,
and I can say
say I did that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And that's always how I've been. So I've just, if it scared me, I did it. Like if it made my stomach turn a little bit doing it,
facts.
because I'm somebody who acts off of feeling anyway.
Right.
So I might as well use that to my advantage. You know,
100%.
I
I mean, shout out to your mother. That's the identity being instilled. Because I feel like a lot. Because one thing that I feel like as you're telling your story, one thing that I don't hear is, and not to say that you don't feel it, is kind of this doubt in yourself or this nervousness or this anxiety.
I'm about to tell you how I combat that.
100%. Yeah, please.
Because I'm fucking human.
Yeah, please. Get
Okay. I meditate a lot, first of all.
Okay.
First of all.
Cheat code.
I feel more aligned with spirituality than anything. I feel connected to the universe, source energy. Okay. How I combat those negative thoughts is naming them. And I got this because I was doing it already, but you know how when you're doing something, but there's a word to it. And
you don't know the word to it. You just know that you're doing it.
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
You know? So there's this acting coach and actress. She's phenomenal, Christine Horn. I read her book and I took her online classes. And what she instructed or advised us to do is to name our negative thoughts. And y'all, I'm an Aries, so yes, I'm one of them that looks at your zodiac sign and can read the hell out of you. Okay, I'm one of them. Right?
She said the moon and it's your moon sign.
We're going to do some readings after this to see how actually accurate she is.
I don't need no tarot cards. I can just look at your aura. Okay? But yeah, I'm one of those people who feels that Aryan energy, right? So I'm always led by something and a goal, and it's always just been who I am. So this is where my ADHD kicks in because I don't know what the hell I was talking about.
No,
and that's when my smoker mode.
That's okay.
I'm weak.
That's why we going.
Put it on me.
I have no clue.
No, how you combat?
You were saying combating, naming your negative thoughts.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm an Aries. Okay. I am kind on purpose. I enjoy being kind. I love being kind. I love the energy that it gives people when they I love that fuel. I love that high vibrational energy, right? So the latter side is I've been cussing since I was 3.
Weak.
Always been expressive.
The yin and the yang.
First friend in life used to practice being smart, Alec. Okay.
I'm weak.
So yeah, you know, when it's time for me to pull out the knife of words, stick it in you, twist it, and you know, so I don't like to be that person.
Right.
But guess what? That person still exists.
Right.
All right. Her name is Ruth.
Okay, Ruth.
Her name is Ruthless.
She got a name.
Ruthless.
Ruth is short.
She was going somewhere with that. Weak.
Ruthless. And her Ruth is for short. And I say that because we all have negative thoughts,
That's
right?
Ruth.
And
Yin and yang.
I feel like as an empath, I've been an absorber, right? So I can connect to certain emotions that are low vibrational and emotions that are high vibrational, even as an actress. Those are the things that I've used to transmute into my creativity.
Right.
So guess who is the hardest on me?
You.
Me.
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
I had to learn how to speak gently to myself. And Christine Horn said, name her. So it will be times where I would be about to go to an audition and something happen and Ruth I'll be like, hold on, bitch.
Right. Right.
And
No,
I
Ruth, you
really
can't come
say
in
it
here.
out
You said
loud
you
like
can't
that.
come in here, Ruth.
I would actually say it out loud like that because I know that my sound is a greater vibration than my thought, but my thought is
Facts.
still being sent to the universe.
That's some real shit.
Okay,
That's real.
So
Real
I
shit.
always combat it. Like if I have a negative thought, I'll be like, "Hold on, bitch.
Right.
We're thinking good thoughts today,
100%.
like this one." And I'll speak an affirmation over myself. This is something I do all the time anyway, so I go right back to it when I'm in situation, and that's something I do daily.
It's
They help
literally
me.
like what you describing is actually putting energy into that actual action. Like when you talk about
Yeah.
affirmation, sometimes when we talk about beliefs, it's like, all right, you got all those beliefs, like write it down. Like
Yeah.
go ahead and etch it in stone. Like really,
Yeah.
whatever you got to do to like make sure that that's your reality.
Yeah.
You believe in it as opposed to just following the motion and then
Because when
get
you're
out of that, you lost that habit.
I mean, just to that point, like when you only allow yourself to think that, it can fleet just as quickly as the negative thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, like you said, you do gotta write it down. You do gotta say it out loud. I mean, I'm picking up what you're putting down, because I do the same thing. Literally how you said earlier. Like, you'll be doing something, but you don't have a name for it, so you don't really think anything of it. But no, I do that all the time. I'll say things out loud just to like kind of hype myself. I'll have negative thoughts and tell myself like, nah, I don't want to think that right now.
You want to know why I started doing that too? Not only did Christine put that into like a perspective for me. Remember I said I'm kind for a reason. I'm kind on purpose. I enjoy it. I'm also a therapist.
Word. Okay, fun fact.
Yeah. Not really, not certified, but I'm one
she just plays one on TV.
You know, I call myself like really like if you called me with some issues, I'm going to give you some life-changing assistance, right? And we joke, and that alter ego is Tian Levon Zine, but the people around me know what I'm saying when I say this. So when you call me with a problem, baby, I'm gonna have a solution for you every time. Or I'm going to speak life into you. You're not going to get off the phone the same way. Okay? And so I'm a transmuter of energy. So I started talking to myself like I would talk to a friend. Because I know I would not down my friend. I know I'm not going to ever speak. I know what my words.
You talking that shit.
And the difference between speaking life and speaking death into people. Even when we're speaking about people. Gossip. I'm very mindful. And so if I'm mindful to other people, why can't I be mindful to myself? Like, I can set an expectation for me, but I don't have to be harsh with it. So I had to start talking very gently with myself because I was hard on me because I'm an overachiever, and I'd be like, bitch, you should have did this. Like, you know, hold on. But you've been going. Okay, you can take a little break, and if you're going to take a break, you're going to take a real one. Because my breaks used to consist of me laying in the bed still thinking about everything I needed to do. And now I'm still not exercising a break for myself.
I think it's... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, like, I feel like you kind of just like verbalizing like this cheat code for ourselves. It's so easy, and I feel like a gift and a curse, right? Because I think it's actually a blessing to be your own critic, but at the same time, you have to give fuel to the voice that is not a critic, and also kind of reminds you that, like, yo, you put it in the work. You killing it for real. But like, we're also going to be accountable with ourselves and also keep it funky and be like, yo,
you could be doing
this, that, and the third. You kind of slipping on. You can do better. I believe in myself to do better. Let's go set out this game plan, and then we're going to go evaluate again. Instead of kind of, and I feel like even just having that faculty in your mind to give yourself that reminder or that grace is something that I feel like so many people can like benefit off of. But sometimes it's very easy to fall in, especially like when I feel like when your work ethic is high, it's very easy to fall into these traps of perfectionism. And it's like, if it ain't right, not only do you not like present or put it out to the world, you kind of like beating yourself up internally into yourself. And it's kind of like, bro, the key to this shit is to just get your reps in. That's getting better. Not thinking that whatever it is that you're working on, it's not what I envisioned it to be, so it's a failure. And that's not the case at all. That's a benchmark. Put that shit out, and then you'll get better from there.
And say, look, okay, let me take some more notes with myself. Like, what could I have done different on this? But 100%. That's where self-awareness comes in to play. I think that's important.
I mean, I'll say is, I mean, I agree completely with what both of y'all are saying, and I feel that like it's very interesting because I also am very hard on myself. I'm also a very tough critic on myself, you know what I'm saying? But especially over the last like few years, I've just gotten much better at understanding, like, look, I can be hard on myself. It don't mean I gotta berate myself in my own head. Like, you know, like, I don't gotta call myself a bitch. I don't gotta, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you fucking dummy. Why? I don't gotta talk to myself like that. No, facts.
My mouth is.
No. Well, the thing is, like, the thing is, like, you know, I just realized, like, what is that solving? Like, it's making me not really want to do the thing that I want to do. But then the ultimate thing, the ultimate thing is like understanding that, like, my life is mine. Anything that I've thought in my head that I want to do, it's because I thought I could do it. You know what I'm saying? So for me to beat myself up because I'm not doing something you know what I'm saying? It just makes me be like, well, is this something that you want to do?
Yeah.
And just be real with yourself
Yep.
because the only reason you feel bad is because you're not doing it.
Yeah.
But the only reason you think you got to do it is because you said you wanted to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you're putting the pressure on yourself and then beating yourself up for the pressure that you're putting. Stop.
For no reason.
Stop.
Right.
None of this makes sense.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just chill. Like, figure out what you want to do and then figure out your course of action and then do a little bit every day or every couple of days, whatever. Like, even the timetable is set by you. You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like, and this is just to creatives out here, all of us, and I know that you're going to be able to relate to this. If you have a vision that you know supersedes the capacity of those around you, and you can tell by what they talk about, you can tell where people are about what they talk about, right?
That's real.
So for the creatives out here, if you have a vision that you are aware, you're different, right? You know you're different.
Right.
You're aware that you see and your vision is different than everybody else's. Don't share it.
Saying
Don't share it. And I say that because you're going to know who those people are that you can share it with, because those people are going to speak expansion. Mm-hmm. When you talk to them about your project or your idea, they're going to add to it and be like, oh, yeah, that's great. They're going to be fueling it. It's going to be
put a
synergy.
ceiling on it.
Yes.
What are you thinking?
What? They're not going to be like making you feel stupid for having this
100%.
Vision that they themselves cannot see.
100%.
So,
because you know what's so crazy? It's like, not only do you maybe like, all right, I ain't feeling that. I ain't resonating with that. I don't want to hear that. But sometimes even these type of conversations, because you literally put it out there, you kind of like welcome yourself to people planting seeds of doubt within you. Yes. And it's like maybe in that moment, you're kind of like, nah, this ain't the conversation I don't really want to be having, whatever. But now to yourself and things like that, it's like, yo, where did this shit come from? It's because you kind of like entertain these conversations where it's like, kind of with how I take what you're saying, people not like feeding life into you or like, yo, just work with me. If I'm telling you this shit, like feed into this as opposed to kind of telling me, why do you have the audacity to even have that vision or dream? Like that's, for sure. That shit's never welcome. But I was going to say, so getting back to it, what was the first role that you had actually nailed and you had got for yourself?
Right, we did deviate.
For sure, but healthy deviations.
Anthony Hackett.
Okay.
So shout out to him in Sunset Friday.
Okay, where? Sunset Friday. Is this a movie series?
Well, that's short? His production company.
Okay.
Anthony Hackett is a writer, director, and filmmaker from this area. He just had a Christmas movie, and I'm so sorry, I cannot remember the name, but it was just in theaters, and he did very well. Right. So. The first movie that I landed that put a battery in my back was in his movie. It's called Love Different.
Love Different.
And I played his wife. I cannot remember my character or nothing like that.
Yo, that's so. I feel like it's still.
That's
cool
a blessing. You done so much shit.
You invested so much in it that now I kind of had to separate so much from it. I've had so much things happen.
I will say this too. I go through like this whole when I take on characters, it's very spiritual for me.
Right.
I become these people.
Right.
So like graciously, the people around me know this. So don't call me expecting.
Right.
I might not answer the phone.
I'm my character.
I am my character. I'm not me. You know.
Right.
And I don't have the capacity for you right now.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And that's something I
love that.
to my character. Yeah. So in saying that, I also have a ritual of release is what I call it. So and because remember what I told you as far as the universe. The universe just knows if I'm so connected to this character and I'm speaking with their emotion, I'm evoking their emotion, that means the universe is listening. They don't know the difference. Right. It does not know the difference. It's just going to give me what the hell I'm asking for and what the hell I'm feeling. Right. So I ensure that I separate myself from a timeline of a character and my own timeline. So I do go through a ritual of release where I separate myself from the timeline of characters, because I've had characters who get shot, killed, like, that ain't nothing I'm speaking over my life now.
So, now that you're talking about that, now I'm actually very curious, right? Because I feel like when you're acting and you're, trying to create this reality for people watching, like I'm literally becoming whoever that you're like trying to portray. is there any toll that actually leaks over into you as yourself as a person?
Yes.
Like, for instance, like, and I feel like sometimes this is always like the constant example a lot of people like to reach to. I'm sure it happens in many different types of capacities, but like a Heath Ledger giving the performance of a lifetime, giving the Joker, and you're like, wow, this is fucking crazy. And then
Motherfucker
you
gave
just
his
kind of
life.
realize he gave
Not
an
even a
Oscar
joke, but
performance, gave his life up for this Oscar performance, right? And the one thing that's kind of like,
I feel like Christian Bale does that too a lot. Christian Bale will like change his body.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Viciously.
saying?
Like, the machinist, he's literally 104 pounds. And then American Hustle is some fucking con
He's a chubby,
And it's like, yo, even Jake Gyllenhaal, he also does vicious transformations. Like when he was a boxer, I was like, yo, bro, he really trained as if he was a boxer right
One
off of
famous story, I don't know if y'all heard the famous story of
the art of acting is doing and being and becoming.
Right.
I don't know if y'all heard the famous story about Al Pacino when he was doing Scarface. Motherfucker like ruptured his nose sniffing so much like fake cocaine. Like his nose like doesn't work to this day. You know what I'm saying? That was one of his earliest roles. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is too, like, also, now we talk about film, one thing that I find is crazy is sometimes the time something can drop and the fucking cultural impact it can have. Like, I cannot remember what I was watching, but they had spoke on literally that moment when Scarface had dropped in theaters.
Changed everything.
Like, literally. And, like, if you're just thinking about, like, all the dope boys and across the nation watching this shit, they're like...
I was watching I was randomly watching Paid in Full. I was already watching Paid in Full the other day, but Paid in Full, there's a whole scene about how when Scarface came out and like everybody changed everybody's mindset.
It's real shit. So like even and nowadays, right? It's in 2024. So many people are referencing movies like iRobot. And they're like, iRobot.
Oh,
AI and shit like that. But I guess I mention all of that because I'm like, yo, it's so funny how just the impact of, even if it can be a fictional story, just like the impact that actually has on real life and people in terms of how it inspires them or the images it gives them.
Yeah, because... Well, to answer your question, yes, sometimes it does spill over. Right. And when I say spill over, the emotions will, not the situation.
Right.
So I have a therapist, actually. And my therapist knows exactly why she's here. Like, you're here to assist me with the digression of characters.
Right.
And if something runs parallel to my life, to assist me to cope with it so I can stay still locked into my character.
Sometimes something can like maybe strike a chord that's yo, this is real shit. For real. Yeah, so I'm trying to...
Listen, my grandmother passed while I was in the middle of a production.
Wow.
Okay? And I knew that my character could show up to set because Angela's grandmother didn't die.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but I also knew that my castmates would not be able to separate me, and they were going to be like, "Oh, you don't know. Wait, So, like the immediate next day of our rehearsals, I didn't go. I went to Kentucky, but I came back within a week and was able to, still, separate that because, like I said, Angela's grandmother did not pass away. Teranee's did. So I separated that, and I was able to still go through it, but. Immediately afterwards, I went into therapy because I had to heal the part of me, the grieving that I put to the side to finish this production. And, I had to deal with everything I had pushed back here because at the time, I'm not concerned about Teranee. I'm concerned about Angela. So that's another thing, too, like why I will insist that when I'm on set that I'm called my character's name because I'm not showing up as myself.
Right.
And I had to tell people in one of the production, I was like, y'all have not met me. Please stop calling my name.
No, that's real shit.
Y'all have not met Teranee. Okay? So this is not who's coming to set, and I can tell that you guys are getting me confused.
Right.
So let's stick to my character so y'all can address me as my character. So that's one thing why I'm adamant about it too, because if something's going on, they can say, "Oh, such and such is dying this week," or this is happening over here, but it's that character, not me.
Right.
So to combat that, because I'm very aware of Heath and his remarkable contribution to film, but what he laid down to do it, and I feel like the best actors that can emulate and evoke emotions are ones who've experienced those emotions and who have healed through those emotions.
Right.
And when you haven't healed through something and you get a trigger, think about this in our regular damn life.
Right.
If you ain't healed through something, you get a trigger, you right
Flip
back
out.
into that time frame. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
like, yeah, you could go numb if you want,
You
but
know-
if something comes in your
Yes.
life that kind of strikes
Yeah,
at
you
that,
gotta heal
Yeah.
through
You
certain
you're going to realize
things.
you ain't addressing
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I
Right.
feel like I'm one of those people who are actively healing, actively taking notes of things that I could have done better. Like I said, I'm self-aware. I know
Right.
when I'm going on set with an attitude.
Right.
Sure do. And I know when I'm going on set, as whatever, So, like I said, I'm kind on purpose. I'm kind for a reason.
Right.
I'm aware of my temperament and behavior at all times. Because most of the time I'm in a character,
Right.
so I have to be a something that's not myself,
Right.
So yeah, it does spill over sometimes.
That's
and I
real.
just deal with it.
That's real shit. So, like, back to, the film that you had done with Mr. Hackett, can you tell about the
Yeah.
reception of it, like, when it finally comes out? And, like, is it, and this is actually something I'm really curious about. So,
Yeah.
when, obviously, the process of it is totally different, I would think, when you're actually watching what's put together. Like, because
Yeah.
sometimes there's a real gap. You're like, yo, when's the movie coming out? I'm
Yeah.
trying to see what we did, right?
Yeah.
So can you even get a little bit into like this premiere night and I guess how you feeling afterwards? You're like, yo, the future's
Yes,
right. You know what I'm saying? I can't
yes.
wait to keep doing this type shit.
Yeah, well, I will say this, and I want to make a note to say this too,
Yes.
because Anthony Hackett had an independent set, okay? And like I said, that was the first set I've been on.
Right.
But I don't even know if he realizes this, but he set the bar
Wow.
on the set etiquette that I had and expected.
That's tough.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep,
For
that's-
him to be independent, and now mind you, I didn't know what to look for,
Yeah.
Right.
but I still knew what
felt right.
efficiency
Yeah.
felt like,
Right.
And so I know what professionalism feels like, And so when I went on set and everything was just kind of banging and going, and I'm like, yes. So my second
She
set,
said, I've arrived. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes. And I had a supporting role too. And oh man, the lead actress, Jen Godson. She's a phenomenal actress that's known especially in the Christian market. So this
Okay.
film did great on Pure Fix. I don't know if you know what Pure Fix is.
I'm not here.
Sound like a
so
Christian
it
Netflix.
is a Christian Netflix.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah.
I can just tell by the name, Pure Fix.
Yeah. So the movie Love Different is faith-based. So it has Michael J. Patterson. So he's an amazing actor in this area that is killing it.
Oh, shout out.
You know
Shout out,
Michael. Yeah, Michael's
Shout
in that
out,
movie.
Michael. He be in everything
Michael's
in every
in his
season.
bag.
He got something. For you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out, Michael.
So
We need to
that's
get him on.
actually
We
the
love a
first-
working actor.
Yes, and I forgot that we were
Yes.
just on that
We
set
was
with
just on
him. So
set, yeah.
look,
Yep.
that's actually the first movie that Michael and I were in, but we did not have any scenes together. And so was Tommy Ford. Tommy Ford was just the last movie that Tommy Ford was in, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so
Oh, Tommy Ford from Martin.
yes, this
Oh,
was the
damn.
last movie he was in
That's
before he
crazy,
passed away.
yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Yeah.
So, like I said, shout out to listen.
that's
We got
crazy.
some amazing
That's
filmmakers in this
crazy.
area. Y'all,
Yeah,
y'all can't be
yeah.
sleeping
That's
on the filmmakers
crazy.
here.
No,
You know?
no, you getting me up.
So, Michael and I, that was the first movie that we met.
Right.
However, we didn't have any scenes together. So
Okay.
this was like in 2015. I think it was.
Hey.
14, something like that.
Yeah. I got some work in.
So-
in a minute.
Michael and I have not worked together this entire time.
Wow.
Except the first time was Cadell's
Cadell's
set.
set.
Yes, on
Damn,
Perfect.
look at
Yes.
that, look at that.
So shout out to Cadell.
Full circle shit. Shout out Cadell.
Yeah, that's
Yo,
crazy.
and as you bring that up, how did you even find yourself? Did you come on his radar, or was it vice versa? Was there like even a pitch?
Michael,
Like, you're like, yo, I need Michael. Look at that. And
yes.
he set it up.
And
Man.
like I said, and we
beautiful.
had not worked together, and we had not did any scenes together
Right,
before, and.
right.
I've always followed his career, supported vice versa, and his mother, Miss Debbie. Miss Debbie's my mom, my stepmom, Miss
that's
Debbie
wild.
Arnold. She's an amazing actress and director as well too. And her and I have had scenes together, and I don't know where the product is.
Oh,
but
man.
her and I had scenes together, and the moment that we had on set, the chemistry was, fire. Like our scene was
Right.
amazing,
Right.
and so her and I just stayed like
in
this,
touch.
but. I hadn't seen them in I don't know how long, so I seen them on set of here we go again.
Right.
Shout out to Shaka Balamani, okay? Another filmmaker in this area that's killing it. We were on set of A Christmas Bonus. Shout out to the amazing cast. Michael's the lead in that.
Tough.
And one of my homegirls is the AD, Lalisha.
Okay.
She's like, hey, girl. So I'll be doing favors for my friends. You see how easy?
Right.
You see, you
Right.
said, can you come? I said, I'm coming.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I'll pull up for you.
With no
I'm going to
hesitation.
pull up at
There's
all
no-
times. I feel like this is what we're supposed to do, right?
100%.
So she's like, hey, girl, it's only 2 lines. I was like, I'm there. For you, I'll do background. I don't give a shit, you know?
Right.
So I get on the set. She's like, I really just want you to meet the director. So I was like, okay. So I get on the set to meet the director. We have this amazing chemistry. The lines are, the set is amazing. Mix and mingle location.
Right.
It's a coffee shop in Clinton that Black owned. Hello.
Hey, there you go.
So it was just a dope moment on set too. So now I'm meeting this director and reconnecting with Michael and Debbie on set, and oh my God, it was just like my family, you know.
No,
So
it's
this is the
beautiful.
thing too. So even though I lived here for a minute, I actually so look, pinned. I got injured when I was when I first lived here, and I was working at a cosmetic company, okay? I was working at a cosmetic counter.
away from my purpose.
I was managing one of them, and I ended up getting injured, and I was there long. I only told her, I said, I can give y'all a year that I can manage because my focus was acting. And a year came, and I was still there. So the universe said, bitch, get the book out.
I'm weak.
Right? And I got injured. So I had to, like, get myself together. So I had a gap, right? I had a long gap as far as, like, work. And a lot of people didn't know I was dealing with anything, you know? So it was probably, like, maybe 4 years where I wasn't doing because I couldn't, you know.
Right.
So when I did get back into the to the industry and get back into what I was doing after just healing myself, and my therapist around me, physical therapist around me, I got back in. So I hadn't seen these people in forever. So that's what I'm saying. Like when I seen them, like family, right back in.
Nice.
So after working with Michael and Miss Debbie and Shaka and all of them again on the Christmas bonus, which should be released. So y'all better be at the premiere, okay?
Say less.
Hey, tell me when and where.
It should be coming up. So Cadell reached out to me and ended up telling me, Michael recommended you. You come highly recommended. And, I was like, well, thank you, man.
Right.
That's dope.
Industry brother. Like,
That's dope.
we share a mom. So, and that's what this is about. Connection, right?
100%.
That's what life is about. Huh?
Yeah.
That's real shit. And since we talking about, I want to just briefly get into that actual process, because I feel like a lot of people, when they look at actors, when they like deliver their roles and whatnot, think, how do you memorize your lines? How do you stay in character? All the technical things, which sometimes I feel like when you really ingrained in the fucking career, it's like, trust me, all that shit, it comes really easy type shit. So, but could you talk to us, I guess, your prep, boom, you get a role. What does that look like, you preparing for the role? What's the steps look like?
Okay. I get a role it depends too. If it's independent, I already seen the script.
Okay, right.
I already seen the script and I'm committed to it.
Right.
So I typically want to see the script, want to connect to it, because there's certain things I'm not willing to do, period, and certain things I'm not willing to do early in my career.
Right.
So I always look at the script.
What do you mean by that, early in your career? Like, so I'm assuming that, I would be down to do that in 10 years, but I'm not down to do that today. So what is in a situation of something that you'd be like?
It's just intimate scenes.
Okay,
In certain
word. So it's about you getting comfortable in terms of being able to deliver that.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
And I'm an intimacy coach too.
Word.
And acting coach.
Okay,
as
many
well.
hats.
So,
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, many hats. So there's certain, and I'm a director, so I know that I can capture the essence of what I need and still stay professional. I don't need to look like OnlyFans. I don't need to look like we about to venture over here. Okay, to get the shot that I need to evoke the emotion when it comes to something intimate.
Right.
So there's certain things, no, absolutely the fuck not. I'm not willing to do, especially early in my career when I feel like I don't have as much control. Because, and I say that because, some people know me, but not everybody know me. So, I'm going to get on some of these sets where some of the crew is going to treat you just like that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And I've gotten on a lot of sets where the script's different.
Right.
Or I'll get the script and let's say I do an online audition, and then when I get on set, because now you see my body type, you see what I look like.
Let's try to,
now it's different
start tweaking the scene.
I'm like,
we rewrote some things. Where the hot tub?
What is that about? Hot tub. Yo, that
and
is
I'm looking
hilarious.
at the script on my phone. Like,
we did some rewrites.
Yo, that's hilarious.
No.
What the hell?
and I've always been one of those actors.
The writer got inspired and did some
Now, why
rewrites.
did you think we just sneak that
Oh,
whole
fucking
shit
weak.
in there?
We're
the
not
way I
doing
prepped
that.
to,
We're not
like-
doing
Right.
that. You know, so that's what I mean. So
Okay.
when I get on network and certain roles, I'm not gonna go for it because I'm not afraid to say no and walk the fuck off set.
Right.
That's just that's always been who I am.
Right.
I'm not somebody who believes that when you go to work you need to be uncomfortable. And that goes all the way around. That means somebody don't need to be yelling at you like you crazy. Like it needs to be a professional environment.
100%.
And a lot of times because it's independent, we're all friends, it's loose, that professionalism kind of go out the window, and that's not what we're doing.
100%,
I'm gonna
right.
reel it right back in because the director and me,
Right.
no,
Right.
I'm gonna treat myself like how I like to treat the actors that I cast,
Right.
whether you do or not.
Oh, that's
Okay,
real
I'm gonna
shit.
treat myself like a name, whether you do or not.
100%.
So like I said, I don't live in right now all the time. I'm in the future as well.
Right.
So I see where I'm gonna be, whether
Right.
you do or not.
Right.
So there's certain things because of my own values I'm not gonna deviate from, and that's one of the things is them throwing certain things,
real
adding
shit.
scenes and adding certain things on you, and no,
Yeah.
No, that's
that
real
is inappropriate.
100%. I mean, I feel like not sometimes. It's funny how people find themselves in situations where they may feel as if they have to compromise
Yeah.
to keep on
Yep.
Yeah.
going
That,
forward.
yes, oftentimes people think like, oh, like if I don't do this opportunity, will another one come? You know what I'm saying? I'm always of the mindset, even in like, I guess less like things that aren't, I'm not a woman, so I'm not dealing with those kinds of things. But there are things where I'm like, this isn't something I really want to do, but like, should I? Like, am I thinking
Men
too
go
much?
through
Like,
this too.
yeah, like, and there's things in our world that are comparable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But to me, I'm always of the mindset that like this is not the last job that's gonna come across my
Exactly.
desk. You know what I'm
No.
saying? It couldn't be. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not.
Like that's not how the world
No,
works. You know what
at
I'm saying?
all.
Like
And-
there's always another
And
thing
let me
coming,
tell
bro.
you, I've passed up so much on purpose because I'm always thinking about myself in the future, like I said, in my brand, right? And no, if it don't feel good, if it don't feel in alignment, I'm gonna have to say no respectfully, you know.
Right.
So my process when I get a script, obviously I'm gonna process the script. I'm gonna
Right.
read, and I tell my students this too. Acting students.
Right.
I'm an acting coach too. My books are not open. Okay.
It's another notch on the resume every 10 minutes we get into this interview. It's another notch on the resume.
So I tell my students, I do the same thing. So I read everything on the page. I don't give a fuck. It's the number, the page
Right.
number. I read it.
Facts.
You know,
65.
I read interior. Because I feel like that's gonna give me a clue to something. Because page 5 means I'm early on.
Right.
Right? Page 35 means, okay, we at the peak of something. So I need to know where I'm going to be at all times within the story for the actors. And I feel like actors, and I tell my students this too, I feel like actors are time travelers. I feel like we have to not only be in the present conversation, but we have to know why we are having this conversation, the scene that came before, the energy that we're going into next. And guess what? We shooting out of order.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have to be everywhere within the script and
That's
then
facts.
here in this present moment at the same time.
That's
so,
one thing you learn
That's
like
facts.
on
Yes.
set in real time. I
Yeah.
remember when first time like I really started assisting the sets and shit like that. And you shooting the fucking ending scene.
Yeah.
First day one. It's like, yo, we got 12 days on this shoot.
Yeah.
Day one, we shooting the ending.
Yeah.
You know, nah,
so the
100%.
actor has to carry whatever
be-
they already been through that
Yup,
they ain't shot
yup,
yet
right.
to the very end of this.
Right.
So how do you do that? You got to channel that. So with me, like I said, I read everything on the page. So I read the script top to bottom. And I read the script top to bottom the first time just to understand what's going on. Now, I actually process scripts differently depending on the role that I'm booked for. So
Okay.
if I'm an actor on this role, I'm going to process it different than I would as a director on a role.
Right.
Okay. So just speaking as the actor, I'm going to read the script full as an entirety, process what's going on, right? I'm going to read it again,
Right.
process what the fuck is going on.
Right.
Now I'm going to read it again and process the why within my character. Now I'm reading each scene and breaking down each scene to the point where I want to know what's going on.
Right.
And I recognize that typically, if it's a great script, each scene is going to have some meat to it. Pause. Right. But each scene is going to have those up and down moments because it's going to get to somewhere. So then I start breaking down the conversation. What's going on?
That's real.
What is the actor trying to convey? Like, what is going on? What's the emotions? What's the goal in this scene? And then does it match the end goal for the movie? Because guess what? The emotion has to match and the temperament has to match throughout the scenes, you know?
And as you're saying this, your director hat definitely gleaming right now.
Facts.
So I feel like that's
right.
one thing.
I'm sure you would as an actress, so you're probably a director's dream as well. Like they don't got to communicate.
Well,
too
it
much
depends.
Well, yeah, because everybody got different vibes. Facts. Everybody got different vibes.
It depends.
Some people just don't want you to ask too many questions. Like I just want you to do it like this, but I need to know the why.
Right.
Don't worry about the why. You know
but I will say this: one thing. I treat my actors on set the way that I desire to be treated on set as a director. And to me, this is what we call style stepping, what I call style stepping. And that is just this is where the coaching me actually happens too. And this is me as a director. So let's say I have 3 talent on set. We'd already had table reads. I'm already casting. I'm only casting certain level of talent anyway, right? So when I get you on set and I see where you are, I'm immediately identifying areas of strengths and areas of improvement, right? So I'm style stepping. You might not need the same direction that this actor might not need.
Right.
And that's something to me as a great director, I have to get out of my own fucking way of saying, I want it this way. No, guess what? That actor was at home working their ass off. You want to know how I know? Because I'm the actor that's at home
100%.
working my motherfucking ass off. So when I come to
100%.
set, I'm actually ready for action, actually.
Right.
Where did you need me to stand? Just tell me where you need me to go. What you need me to do. Like, that's one of the, but let me develop and show you the work that I've done outside of set when it comes to developing who this person is, this being, right? So I like to give my actors creative freedom on set. Like, of course, I'm going to go do some blocking, camera block, because there's certain shots I need, right?
Right.
That I'm not compromising.
Right.
So I already know the blocking when I look at the location. I can get a picture. I got the blocking. I don't need my actors on set for that, right? So when they get on set, only thing I need to tell you is where I need you to stand for camera action, right? But I want to see what you want to do too.
Right.
Because to me, that's the synergy. That's you're bringing how you interpret the character, and I'm bringing how I envision it too. But I have to look at you. I have to see what you've done.
Right.
Now, if you're an actor that needs me to show you something, then yeah, I can get in there and say, okay, this is what I want to see. Now, I'm not expecting you to mimic exactly, but I'm expecting you to interpret it some way because I'm seeing something that I want to capture on camera, you know? So, but I like to be that director that for the actor in me that wants to be director. And no, not every director gives us that freedom.
Do you realize within your experiences acting the want to actually direct, or was like you directing always a part of the plan as well? Because when you speak, it's as if it's like you now see the whole playing field, and it's like I seen that because while I was in it, I kind of maybe seen like I feel like I could get that out of this person, or this is that. Like I feel like it's always while you on set, you constantly learning and out some. This is what I would do though if I was not to say that you doing it in a bad way, but this is just how I would go about it type shit. So. Did you always have it in your mind that I'd be directing as well too, or did acting kind of give you this kind of like plant this seed within yourself where you're like, I think I want to direct too?
I'm a control freak.
So you realize real quick, like
very quickly. So
I want to act, but I think I want to do both.
well, I will say this: I started out as acting. Okay,
right,
and I remember being the actress that wanted to just show up and perform. Like, I would be at home doing everything. If it says I'm sitting at a table, bitch, I'm sitting at a table by myself.
Right.
I can already see the 3 people. I can already see everything. I'm doing it.
Right.
Because when I get on set, I'm going to feel confident with the choices that I make.
Right.
And guess what? The best practice is practice.
Right.
Do it. Get your ass up and do it.
Right.
So I would be the one that want to get on set and go to action. And then when I see that all these moving parts, wait, why ain't y'all ready for me to say action?
Weak.
Right.
So then I had to sit and say, okay, now there's a setup. Okay, wait, let me figure out what's going on. And I'm an observer naturally, right? So I just start watching how, and thank the universe, source energy, that I've had the privilege of being on some of these sets that had a nice budget or, you know, an extensive crew and knowledge and experience, because like I said, Anthony Hackett set that bar for me.
Yeah.
So I seen
you've seen it before.
I've seen what an old machine looks like, right? And then I seen what a well-oiled machine looks like.
Yeah.
And so when you see what that well-oiled machine looks like and you kind of go on some of the independent sets, you start taking some notes. For me, I was like, okay, this is what I would do.
Yeah.
And this is what I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
This is what I am going to do, and this is what I'm not going to do. Yeah. And so how I became the director, and I'm still forever becoming the director. I haven't even became who my higher self already is, and I can't wait to meet her ass, because, you know, I just can't, okay? But
real shit.
Because I'm forever learning now.
Absolutely.
It's forever a student in this. So not only am I learning what the director's doing, the PA is doing, and I was a PA, and that's the thing. There's nothing on set that I would ask anybody to do that I wasn't willing to do my damn self.
That's right.
Because I've done it all. I had to. So this is where the directing came in, because it got to the point where because I don't have this name and all these accolades and credits behind me, but I know that I'm not about to go do that project because I'm better than that project.
Right.
It got to the point where I started doing my own shit. Mm-hmm. So if you don't see me, I'm going to make you see me.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I was doing skits, like a bunch of TikTok skits, and I was killing it. Like I've had a lot of stuff to go viral. Now, in doing those skits, I realized I was making storyboards for these 1-minute skits. I'm making storyboards. I'm writing out shots, numbers. I'm so intricate on, because I need the mouth to be correct. Like I need everything to be on point. The shots, everything.
Right.
And so my wigs, my makeup, special effects, and mind you, I work for a cosmetics. So I guess who got that under her belt? Celebrity makeup.
Right.
Hey girl. Hey Tori girl.
There you go. Never had.
Hey Tori Hart. I love you. But I have these tools in me, and I start realizing that I am the tool. I was like, hold on. I'm doing these skits. I'm the talent, right? I had to learn how to use this damn camera.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to edit.
Right.
I naturally do the makeup, hair. Okay, I got all that. So it got to the point where I start directing my own skits. And then it got to the point where I'm like, I desire a movie. I desire to be in these scenes. This is where our conversations, where I'm trying to get us connect, like with camera, crew, like let's do this. Y'all see?
Right.
So I got to writing. Okay. So now y'all want to cast me as the sexy girl and the eye candy. I'm not doing it. Because I got more range than that, right? So I start writing the roles that I want to see myself in.
That's far.
I was like, fuck this.
That's hard.
I'm about to write how I want to see me, because I can transmute into anything that I need to be, because I don't give a fuck. I'm so confident in who I am that I don't care if I look stupid to portray someone else. So it got to the point of shorts, like, you know, so then it's like, okay, I don't have nobody directing it. Bitch, I'm going to do it. I've been doing it.
See,
and I feel like a lot of folks come to that realize. My fault. Go ahead.
Well. So I'm a firm believer in this. If you have the title, back that shit up. Don't let just the experience be the one. Be your teacher. Seek teachings. So when I decided that yes, this is the lane that I'm already doing, that I'm going to wear this hat now because I'm good at it, right? I wanted to make sure I had technique behind me again. Because remember I said, here I started acting. That shit was natural. But look, I looked the fool. A cute one at that, but shit, I did, you know?
Yeah.
So when I decided to direct, I said, okay, well, I'm going to follow some directors and take some of their courses that I, like, look up to.
Yeah.
So shout out to Jamal Hill, because when I tell you he's one of those directors that I met on set and was like, I got anything I can do to help your career, I got you.
Right.
So here's my masterclass, here's this, whatever, you know? And I took his masterclass, and y'all, I will not. And so let me back up to how the first director credit that I got that was where I was sought versus me doing my own project.
Right.
So that's one of my actor friends, Roger Yalson, who I was in acting class with early on when I first moved here, and I started coaching him in acting classes, y'all. So some of the actors and the acting coach couldn't stand it.
Wow.
Some of the actors start coming to me wanting coaching because of how I would perform in class. Because I wouldn't listen to the coach.
Right.
I ain't gonna say what class it was, but you know, it's a couple people that, you know, are doing really well that I know that I've rubbed some elbows and gave you some gems, and I know you hear my voice.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm honored for that. So he actually hit me up. Roger hit me up and was like, hey, are you interested in directing? And this is from acting class 10 years ago. I was like, yeah, hell yeah. So now I'm on this project. And before I did, because I'm like, now somebody about to put they shit in my hands. I know what my baby feels like, but I'm about to take care of somebody else's. And I want to make sure that if they give me a budget, I can break that shit down. If it's certain things, I want to make sure if you're putting in my hands as a director, that I know how to handle this. And so I took Jamal's class. I told him, like, look, this is what's going on. He's like, oh, yeah, here, I'm going to send it to you. So I'm up taking notes in this class. It's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm taking notes. I had to keep pausing it, y'all, because I'm crying. I'm bawling. I'm like.
Crying for what?
Confirmation.
Like worried.
No, confirmation. Like the stuff that he was saying, I was already doing. And I didn't realize there was a name to certain things.
So
I didn't realize.
I'm on it.
Okay,
I'm really on it.
So I got a vision that I didn't realize everybody didn't have. I didn't realize that everybody wasn't seeing a certain way that I'm
hit you at once.
this.
It's crazy.
So I'm taking notes, and don't get me wrong, I'm getting gems. So I'm like, I'm going on this set with a battery in my back. Like, I'm ready for this. And guess what? That film right now, and it's called Walls, it's killing it in film festivals right now. And Roger, so I co-directed it with Roger. He brought me in last minute. And it's doing great in international markets, DC. Like, it's just doing really well. We got best actors, like, awards for this. So yes, I'm an award-winning filmmaker.
Look at you.
Like,
look at you.
That's great.
But that lane of directing, when I decided to wear that hat, I said, I'm going to put some technique behind. I'm going to learn. I'm not just going to go by the experience and what I've observed.
And what you said earlier, stand by the title.
Yeah, stand by this title. If this is what you say that you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And I know I'm deviating, but I'm going to tell y'all where that mindset went for me is because Kentucky, Louisville, is full of talented and beautiful people. When I tell y'all, when I came here, I was like, okay. When I went to Miami, I'm like, I know some stallions back home. I know some beautiful women back home, okay? And I say that because I started modeling there. And I just remembered this, though, because it's country. Let's be clear. It is, and not Hollywood country, but it is, some country roots to it. But I remember seeing models that were, my peers. And, when you see everybody in clubs, it's I see you everywhere. Everywhere. And
you're numb to their beauty or whatever special about them. Yeah.
But I will say this: some of the women who would call themselves models, when I would look at them, I knew what you were trying to be, but I didn't see you presenting as that. And so I was just thinking, like, damn, if I was a casting agent, like, and now mind you, I'm thinking like this at 18, 17, 18, 19, but I was just thinking, like, you call yourself a model. I know I am a model. When I go out, there's certain things I'm going to look like when I go out. And like to the point where when I was in Louisville, people be like, you're not from here, are you? Like, yes, I am. When I go back, look, the young ones that don't know me.
Right.
When I go back, where you from? LA? No, I'm from here. Okay,
right.
But I would see like these models, like I see what you say you are, boo, but you don't look it, and not that you don't have the potential to do it. I just see you not taking the initiative to.
Yeah.
And so from that moment, I said I'm gonna always take the initiative. I'm gonna look like who I say I am at all times. Right.
Man.
And even if I don't introduce myself, my energy is.
Yeah.
My energy is going to introduce me before I do.
I always say something about, like, maybe me and you have had this conversation before, but like, I'm a big believer in you can. I feel like every race there's a starting line, right?
Yeah.
Depending on how you present yourself, you can start at the starting line, behind the starting line, or in front of the starting line. And that's all based on how you present yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes people, for whatever reason, like the reasons why are so vast. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes people feel like they want to put themselves behind the starting line. Not even just at the starting line, but behind it. It's like, oh, well, like, I want to be able to pull up and I want to surprise people that I'm smarter than I look. Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not just pull up looking smart? Why do you got to pull up looking like ratchet and then surprise them and show them that you're smart? Like,
people going to judge you no matter what anyway.
That's
so
what that's
the way you feel.
That's actually even further into my point. It's like, you're going to be judged. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. I'm saying it's a matter of fact. Like, you're going to be judged based on how you present yourself. So yeah, you can come outside like looking however you want to look, but understand that a judgment is going to follow that. So you can decide. So you can kind of take the onus on like, how do I want to be judged? You know what I'm saying?
And that's so. I feel like, you know, it's an interesting line in between not caring about what the opinions of others is, at the same time, on the other side, you being able to control
the narrative. Yeah. That's actually a great point, bro.
That it's like
it is a fine line.
I feel like the biggest difference in between one and the other is being intentional and caring. Is one on the other side. The other one is just like, whatever. And it's like,
like getting up out of bed and just going versus like, this is the look that I'm cultivating today.
If I live intentional, if everything that I do is on purpose, then I actually don't give a fuck about how it's actually perceived. Because I'm like, this is my true self and this is what I want to present into the world. So deal with it. Whereas opposed to like saying you don't care, it's like an easy cop out to kind of just to yourself, not, I'm not where I want to be because I just don't care.
It's because if I tried, I would be I would be exactly where I wanted to be if I tried.
That's one of the biggest disservices I feel that you could ever do to yourself is pushing shit along due to the fact that you going 50%. That's crazy. Because like tomorrow not promised, and instead of you finding this little solace in your potential, what it could be, you're just like kind of banking on what it could be for the rest of your days instead of like, yo, get into shit,
making it something.
I have been perceived all my life, and I used to always say this: I don't give a fuck what people think, because there's certain things they cannot call me.
Right,
and that's one thing I don't. You can't call me a hoe. You can't call me broke. You can't call me. There's certain things you just can't call me. You can call and you can call me bougie. You can call me stuck. I'm gonna fuck what you call me, because I know what I'm being perceived as.
That's real shit.
But I also know who I am. That's real. And so yes, that is. For someone who's been perceived a certain way my entire life, like I chuckle at the thought of, you know, certain things when it's brought to me. Because one thing I do know for sure is that I'm responsible for my energy that I put out. I'm not responsible for how anybody perceives it.
That's right.
Because how you perceive it is really a projection of your own fucking self. It's not of me, baby. And I just talked to my DP about this because I had dealt with a project where, you know, some of the people were new as far as crew, and, you know, they don't know me for real. So you know, they don't know that I'm showing up in character, you know, so they're perceiving me in a certain way, and I know it. I can hear them. I hear them, you know, so I don't ever care because I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm locked into my character. You're talking about Teranee.
Yeah.
And you have not met Teranee.
Right.
Because if you met her, you would know better.
Right.
You'd probably know better not to say this shit. No.
I'm weak.
Like, literally after having this conversation, if we ever on a set again, I'm like, yo, call her by a fucking character name. Don't call her that.
Yes. But, you know, I haven't been to many sets where they didn't respect that, you know, so.
Right.
And when they don't, you know, oh well.
Right.
You know, but when I'm adamant when it's certain things that's going on for the character.
100%.
Then I'll be like, hold on, I'm gonna take it personal if you keep saying that about me.
Yeah.
Right.
But for the most part, no, I know everybody's at work. Like I know what we're doing, and guess what? I know crew.
100%.
So there's a certain energy I'm gonna have as an actress anyway, and a certain energy I'm gonna have as the director. Because as the director, I don't play. As an actress, I don't either, but I'm aware that I'm not controlling shit either. So I'm not the director. I have to let go. 100%. And the whole point of letting go for the character is to let go on set as well. So like I said, I show up completely different on set as the actress. And one thing I tell myself too is to be mindful and respect the director's vision, even if I don't see it as myself.
Yeah, facts.
Do it. See it, feel it. Because guess what? As the director, I would ask you to just do it, see it, feel it, and see how it feels to you. You know, so that's one thing I am is absolutely a team player on set. Like what you need me to do, as long as it's morally sound, it's in the script.
Right.
The script. You know, and you know, I'm gonna be that team player. The only time I'm ever selfish on set is on my close-up. And on my close-up, I don't motherfucking play. I be like, listen, DP, and rack focus better be in focus. Them shoulders better be shouldering.
I'm weak.
You better have that back built because, baby, if I'm running, you better run with me, okay?
I'm weak.
So that's the only time I'm ever like... one of them on set. If it's about my shot, I don't fucking play about my shot because not only as the director am I paying attention to it, as the actor, this is my likeness is being recorded forever.
Right.
So I'm absolutely responsible for the way I look on camera. So on my close up, this is why I be friends with the DP. What you need? You like a little creamer in your coffee?
You say you like cream in your coffee?
Like, no, we got to be friends because I desire for you to see me as an artist. Mm-hmm. And don't wait till I'm getting on Viola's level and Taraji's level and Denzel's level, because guess what? When they were on this level, they needed somebody to see them. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So I demand that.
That's for sure.
I said I was going to be seen for a reason. So when I'm seen on set, I'm seen as the character, and I'm going to be seen as the professional that I am. And however you deal with that is how you deal with it. But one thing I know I'm going to always be is mindful, respectful, and considerate, because that's just the core of who I am. But when it comes to shit I don't play about, it's just shit I don't play about. And I don't know. Ain't no room for mediocrity around me. If I came to work, you gonna come to fucking work too.
And you gotta be unapologetic about it.
Oh, and I am.
100%.
I am. I'm like, was that it? That wasn't a shot. I feel like we need to do that.
I feel like we may do it again. Where do you think you're going? We're not taking a lunch yet. Where do you think you're going?
I didn't hear her call cut.
So
I got go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say, because we talked about it briefly. Like you mentioned how you kind of got your first little taste of directing through social media skits and stuff like this, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, both of y'all actually, I'm curious to like get y'all's perspective on how do you feel social media has changed acting and directing and things like this. Like, how do y'all feel like that landscape has changed? Especially, maybe I'm certainly interested in hearing your perspective from you know what I'm saying, being in it much longer and through different aspects. But like, what's your take on it? I'm just kind of curious.
Well, first of all, I feel like with any and everything, it's always a good and yin yang.
Right.
You know, so we have the dark side of social media, we have the light side of social media, and the bright side of it is that people can be seen that has talent, and I think that is a great platform, just social media period, as a platform for talented people who are serious and passionate about their talent, get that moment.
Yeah, not having to wait for like somebody to pluck them from obscurity. You know what I'm saying?
But I've also seen how I've seen, experienced, and worked with people who only got casted because they had a following. Yeah. So it's just like, damn, does that take away from the person who has been really working for this? You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, for someone who's had that frustration, because I have before, where I'm just like, damn, they ain't not taking this serious, and here I am over here over her damn near dying for my character, and you just showing up and getting the praise and accolades just because you got 100,000 followers.
And I feel like it'd be one thing if, like, all right, you have the following, and then you come on set and you really just naturally
can't deliver.
And it's like, then it's
even
like,
if you don't prepare, but you still are naturally. I can appreciate a natural
100%.
talent.
Absolutely.
Even me, as somebody who does like work his ass off to be like decent. You know what I'm saying? Like, just as an example, I think I've told this story before, like on previous podcasts, but like growing up, some of my friends were like the best athletes in my school. These were my closest friends. So I would always have to work like what felt like 4 or 5 times harder just to be on the same team with these guys. And I would, back then it made me resentful. Like, damn, like why didn't I just have, like, why couldn't I have like the natural talent? Why is it like this person's got the size and now they just get opportunities because they're, you know, they got size, they got speed or whatever. And I feel like I'm working my ass off, but that's transpired into like now I'm just a natural worker. Like it's nothing for me to do work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in me. You know what I'm saying? So, but
who you are.
But I can absolutely appreciate people who do have that natural talent. You know what I'm saying? Because like when natural talent does work hard, you know what I'm saying? You get greats. You know what I'm saying? You get greats.
In a talent that you already possess. I feel like
100%.
you come on now. If you're the tool and you're sharpening that tool, come on.
And then when you're working on, just to add to it, when you're working alongside those people, it makes you that much better.
Iron sharpens iron. I'm telling you, it does. And I have this story, just a pen, but I would never forget this. One of my old friends, her son at the time, he was like 18. And this is just a few years ago. So he was like a little brother to me. But I remember I was at their house and we were watching, or they had just watched a championship basketball game. Okay. And I'm going to fuck these names up, okay? But I just remember one person. It was like Giannis
Antetokounmpo. There you go.
There we go.
We just call him Giannis. It's all good.
Giannis. Okay, so I just know he was just talking about like whatever game within this, you know. So I don't know these players' names, so I'm just gonna
do your thing. I'm
gonna just tell you the story. So
he
was pretty much like, "Oh man, I'm just gonna use Giannis as the okay, because that's the only I know."
He's the hero of the story.
So I just remember him saying like, "Oh man, then Giannis was doing this. He was doing that. He was just shooting threes." So he's telling me about the game, like a recap. He was like, "Man, he wasn't letting up. Like he wasn't letting nobody like get no points. Like, and he was saying it in a way was like, man, he was just like not letting them do nothing." And I was like, I said, well, what was he supposed to do? I said he was supposed to slow down so they can catch the fuck up. No, I said they pay him the type of money for his talent. If they couldn't catch up and keep up, oh fucking well. And I'm saying that because as someone who's excelled, no, I'm not dimming and I'm not slowing the fuck down. So I don't know what to tell you. Either y'all better put on these gasoline draws with me and run just as fast as I'm running, or what? But why do you expect anybody that is exceeding above any expectations to pull back? That's just like telling Simone Biles, just stop doing those flips, please. 100%. Because I love a cocky person who can back that shit up. Pop your shit, sis. Pop your shit, bruh. I want to hear it. I'm the friend that you call when you want to keep bragging about yourself. Please. My friends know that. Call me. I want to hear it. I'm not going to ever get tired of you because it don't sound like bragging to me. It don't sound like bragging. I love it. I love to hear it.
I'm the motherfucker that like when people are just like being great, whether I like them or not. And it's very interesting because like, you know, a lot of times you don't know these people. Well, the thing is like, because like I'll use somebody like a Tom Brady or like a LeBron James or whatever. Like I say whether I like them or not because I don't know these people. I don't know whether I like them or not. But the narrative of them, right? It gets to a point where I just have to appreciate greatness. You know what I'm saying? Like when someone is time and time again. Patrick Mahomes is kind of on that boat right now where it's like everybody like loves Patrick Mahomes and I don't want to like him, but it's like, bro, like you're so good at what you do, bro. I gotta respect you, bro. 100%. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I say I don't want to like you because I don't want to be like that bandwagoner. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I can't sit here and be like you're not doing something that is head and heels above everybody else, bro. That would make me a hater. You know what I'm saying? I can't make me a hater. You know what I'm saying? I can't be a hater.
Going back to like, you know, when we were talking about social media, I feel like the one thing that I always like to stay mindful of, and I feel like with a lot of people, sometimes they get lost in the weeds of it all, is thinking because as great as like a conduit as it can be, and sometimes you can showcase maybe some natural ability and talent, maybe you do need to be on sets. I feel like sometimes in the same breath, a lot of people think that this right here can expedite the work or the journey is actually going to take you to actually be that. Like as you said, you could go onto set, and yeah, you got the following, so that's why you are here. But it's very apparent through these multiple takes that it's like, yo, you kind of like learning in real time. And it's like, look, no harm, no foul. We here, so we're going to get through it. But it's like, damn, you really don't know, nor did you even take the time to be prepared for this. You just got the role. So you're like, I'm not going to show up. So I think that's also with social media, it's kind of like the little silver lining of it all. It's like, you know, this can very well get you the opportunity, but just because you got the opportunity doesn't mean that you're up to par. You need to
But don't y'all feel or agree or disagree with this statement?
Right.
Isn't there a certain level of talent required to amass a following of that size?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Hell no.
I think.
Don't get me wrong. Like somebody that does something stupid and goes viral 1-2 times,
They're
and
gonna
then
keep doing stupid shit.
But the thing is, I don't know. I feel like there's some level of talent to amassing
There is
a
a
huge
audience for
following.
everybody.
100%.
Yeah, but like especially in the social media area, social media era, audiences come and go. They love you today, and they completely forgot about you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Real talent is consistent,
and that's what I'm saying though. So like to amass a huge following, I feel like takes some level of talent because you have to be consistent. You can't because you can't amass a huge following on 1 or 2 viral videos.
So this is what. So when you say you
can go viral a couple times and not get a following.
But let me tell you, TikTok is creating stars out here. I don't know if you know that, right?
Yeah, every fucking day.
Okay. TikTok is literally, you can go viral tomorrow. Okay?
Yeah.
And get brand deals, all this extra shit. And either you're going to milk your 15 minutes.
Right.
Or you going to milk your 15 minutes.
Right.
Now, think about it. Most people are just doing shit for attention and for clout. And that's it. But I do feel like the talent stays.
Yeah.
Your audience is going to stay.
Right.
Now, when you say consistent, somebody can just be consistent with posting on TikTok and go viral.
Consistently dumb.
Yeah, literally. They can literally just be consistently like Kwame. I know I might be saying his name wrong. Kwame Lamb, I think he's the highest paid TikToker.
The dude that just be silent.
Right. No,
Like,
right.
No, I know. That's funny.
That's
real.
But I love him, first of all. And
But that's there's something in they say talent. They say acting is in the facial expressions, and it's you know what I'm saying? It's not in the words. It's in the.
He was relatable because it was dumb shit that he was like, what? And it was relatable content, but that is still consistent.
Yeah.
You know, somebody can be consistent posting just dances on TikTok 3 times a day, and baby, they're gonna go viral.
Yeah.
It's the algorithm.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah.
So you're saying that it don't really take talent to amass a large following?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Brooke, what do you say?
I was gonna say, I think it's more so you consistently doing something and hitting that target audience.
Yeah,
so
your
like,
niche.
and at the end of the day, I mean, if we really want to get into it, I guess, you know, and it's funny me saying this, I guess I'm being like a devil's advocate. I guess talent in itself is subjective, right?
You said, what is talent?
No, I mean, deadass, because like, for instance, people go viral, to your point, off of motherfucking mukbang videos, right? But the motherfucking person making the shit's like, go ahead, do it. But you can't do what the fuck I'm doing. Like I started from nothing. And I built this shit, and you still can't do what I did.
So somebody like do y'all know who like a Kai Cenat is?
Yeah, right.
Is he talented?
You know,
I think he is enjoyable. I think people love.
He don't got a talent to you.
Okay, so look, I don't follow him to where like his streams.
No, me neither. I'm just saying, like,
but the clips that I've seen of him, like, and I've seen him
talented streamer.
He's a talented streamer, but that's my
engaging,
but that's my point. That's my point. Like, what I mean by, I'm not saying like talented as a like whatever we know talented to be in our world. Like I'm not saying he's talented with the camera. I'm saying that there's something about him that is that's likable, like different. If somebody else tried to do the same thing, they wouldn't have the same success as him. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Or people like that. So whether it's streaming, whether it's you know, the Kwame guy, you know what I'm saying? Like they're doing something that is a talent. No, for sure. I feel like.
But I guess to loop it back to what we're saying is right. So you are recognized off of that talent that you're putting out in the world. So let's say that talent now books you to be on a set of this movie.
Yeah.
That does not mean you are going to perform well here because you kill it in your realm. Yeah. Because in your realm, you're controlling so much more factors. Like, shout out Kevin Iso. When we had Kevin onto the show, he said a big thing when Flatbush Misdemeanors, when they actually started doing that show as opposed to when it was the internet show, is like they're like the biggest like compromise of it all was like realizing once it's not a web series anymore and we're going to Showtime comes in and they're like, we're doing a lot of this creative control. So you're gonna have to let that shit go if you want for us to move forward and do this shit. And I feel like sometimes, and again, not to say that people are not capable of making the transition, because you got the opportunity, so now make the most of it.
And
you're here.
That's
you're
gonna
put your technique behind it.
Even if you bomb, you will get more. So it's a beautiful thing.
Where I'm coming from, at least another thread of thought that I'm hearing or that I'm thinking when you say that is like, okay, say somebody gives that person that opportunity. Is that Are you saying that person, oh, I'm not an actor, so let me save that opportunity for someone who is an actor? That's what I'm saying. So they should take it.
Absolutely.
And then when you take it, you realize you're trash or you're not good.
No, this is my thing. Yeah. Because I say this all the time because there's moments on set where I have attitudes and I'm very aware of them. And I'm going to tell you, when I have them, it's because somebody's not prepared right now. And y'all eating up time, y'all eating up my time. And guess what? The more time I got to stay in this character, the more time I'm away from me. And I like being with me, you know? So I have this very big pet peeve of just not showing up prepared. You can be new, because I was new before, right? It was my first time on set sometime, but I showed up prepared. I was dedicated. So my thing is this: if you're going to do something and you say I'm going to walk into this lane, just do it. Because when you show up in lack, what you're doing is making somebody else overcompensate. And that's not fair. When you committed to this as an adult or as a person who is of clear mind to say I'm going to go on here and do it. So that's another thing. When I was running a makeup counter, I had to tell some of the people that would sit there and interview, like everybody wanted to be this particular type of makeup girl, right?
I feel like I know which one it is now. Yeah.
And I used to have, when I would interview girls to work at my counter, I would tell them, I'm like, I know it looks good and looks pretty and you eager and you pressed right now, but baby, this ain't what it looks like. Because we're really working while we're looking pretty. But the same eagerness you have right now in this interview, when you want this job, I need you to have it 3 months from now.
6 months from now, 9 months from now.
I need you to have it I need you to always remember why you wanted this job. Because at any moment, bitch, you can leave. You can say, I quit.
I'm not cut out for this.
If you start acting like you
this is not what I thought it was.
Now I'm going to have to fire you. You know what I'm saying? So that's been me. If I committed to something, if I want to do it, I'm going to show up and give 100,000%. So yes, I expect everybody who said, yes, I'm committing to this work, this project, this work, to do the same thing. So if you show up not prepared, oh baby, you gonna feel it from me. Absolutely.
So with that said, what is your most important thing that you would tell to somebody young and upcoming within this industry, whether it's them being a director, whether it's an actor? I guess the best way I could word it is, what would you tell yourself
when you first coming
18 years of age? You just green in this and you're like, yo, I know this is what I want to do, but maybe if somebody within this space that I can even resonate with looks like me, what is something that, could have been of so much value to just know moving forward into this, if you could tell?
It's a few things. The first thing is this: your thoughts is going to manifest whether you are conscious of them or not. And if you are not manifesting for the future, you are repeating cycles from the past. that means you are constantly thinking about some trauma, and what you're doing is manifesting it in your current reality. Okay? So no matter where you are in your space, no matter where you are in the present time, if you know that you have a dream and you have just a sight of what that looks like, meaning you've seen someone on TV with your likeness, that means that, yep, that could be you.
Right.
So if you know that that could be you, that's where you need to see yourself at all times, and don't stop until you get there.
Right.
And when I say that, this is what I mean by that, because I'm aware of this. I'm aware that once you set your mind to something, everything within the universe conspires to make it happen.
Right.
You yourself will get in your own way with your own doubt. This is
Right.
where I had to tell Ruth, back the fuck up, Ruth.
Right.
Because if I don't think highly of myself, if I don't love myself enough to do the things that is in my heart and do it at 100,000%, how can I ask anybody else in the world to love me? And when I say that, I know I need to be loved a certain way. So the way that I choose to love myself is to go after everything that's in my heart. I don't let the doubt sit more than 3 seconds. You got to go. Because as soon as I say, oh, I would love to do this, and that human starts, well, maybe not.
Right. Nip it.
I'm not about to interrupt the momentum of my goal.
That's real.
So yes, write that shit down.
Right.
And write it in cursive.
Right.
With a number 2 pencil,
Hey.
lead, which is natural
Why in cursive?
resources.
Why in cursive? I feel like the kids even know how to. Not
No,
kids,
they
but
took it out
people,
of school
I'm about to
for
say,
a
people even
reason.
know how to write in
They
cursive
took
these
it out
days.
of school for a reason. So let me just tell you this, because I'm a person
Got
who
texted to
who
yourself.
vibrates on- Nah, no. Let me tell you something. We are magic.
Yeah.
We, us,
Right.
our beings, our vessels are magic. I believe we are the tool. Everything that we desire in our hearts, because our heart is a vortex, we can absolutely bring it into this reality. And I do believe in manifesting and certain things to manifest.
Right.
And I'm a writer. I'm an actor. So
Right.
I know the power of manifestation,
constantly
because
doing
guess
it.
what? I've written scripts and I see them the same thing. I bring them to life.
Right.
Right? So if I can write it, if I can think it, and I can visualize it, that means I can have it. So anything that I think or visualize, I write that shit down. This is when I'm manifesting, not when I'm writing a movie. Right? But when I'm manifesting, I'm writing in cursive. And let me tell you why in cursive. The universe responds to frequencies like the earth responds to frequency. The earth is a frequency. It's vibrating on a shamanic frequency, I want to say, of like 445 hertz or some shit like that. I can't even remember. Okay. This is why music moves us, because we have water in our body, and music and vibrations and frequency can move water. This is why black people got that 808 real quick. As soon as we hear music, our hips start swaying. We can't help but twerk and start going. We are literally the magic, is what I feel like, right? So if I know that I can speak what I desire into existence, I'm aware that if I write it down, that it's, and I sign whatever the letters, dear universe, thank you in advance for all the things that I desire, that I've received them, because I speak into it as a present.
Right.
I'm aware that once I sign it, that my energetic signature is what's creating everything. So not only do I know that spiritually, I can back that shit up, because here's another cap for me. I study commerce and trust law, right? So I'm someone who is in the process of completing sovereignty. So I'm aware of how spirituality can be connected with business as well. Because when we speak of church and business, we speaking differently.
Right.
When Kanye's talking about his church, he's not talking about just hallelujah. He's talking about a business as well.
Right.
So I'm not somebody who just looks at something on one side. I have layers for it. So when I'm processing certain things, I'm processing it in layers based off the information and the variables that I have within my own life that support that. So, yeah, I got off ADHD.
No, but basically, But you had said you basically telling people like
to your
you need to
younger
really
self.
and to anybody that's tuned in, like they need to actually see themselves in the position that it is and do these affirming actions that kind of like, look, your brain is actually very suggestible, and it's just going to take whatever the fuck you say as reality. So sometimes in this weird way, it's like if you're not even necessarily where you're at, and it's like you can tell fibs to your brain, lie to your brain in your best interest.
Yes.
Tell them, you're not there, but you gonna be there. So tell your brain, I am there right now. And kind of like when you saying that you doing into like penmanship, I kind of view that as like your method of making the sign still delivered. It's like it's official. Like that's like kind of like your way of officializing it. It's based off of my spiritual
beliefs because I feel like whenever we're manifesting, so like I said, frequency. That's what I was getting at. The reason I said don't pick up your pen is because now I follow some of the teachings of Abraham Hicks, which is just like universal law type of thing. And what they suggest is that whenever you speak speak something into your life and you use an I am or I have affirmation, whatever it is that you are speaking, like your sentence should be 17 seconds. And the reason it should be 17 seconds is because 17 seconds is enough momentum for the universe to pick up your thought, whatever you desire, and skyrocket it into the universe and bring it right back to you, right? So when I say I am manifesting verbally and I speak it out, I'm aware that that's something. I'm putting sound to my thought. Whenever I am writing it out, guess what I'm still doing? I am still thinking the thought. Right? But now I'm actually putting penmanship. I'm putting energy into it. So the reason I said don't pick up your pen and use cursive is because cursive, listen to what I'm saying, cursive, spelling words, right? Spelling words. I'm aware that regardless of what you think you're doing, you're putting a spell within the universe. So whatever you write, because you're using letters, you are spelling out letters. You are cursing yourself, whether it's good or bad. So that's why I said in cursive, when you're writing in cursive, pretty much like I said, how my sound is greater than my thought. My cursive is greater because I'm not picking up my pen. I'm not stopping. I'm not writing
that state of
with
flow.
Dogma and with the English grammar. I'm just keeping the flow going. And the reason I say with a number 2 pencil is because it's a tree. And trees are life. Hug a fucking tree. Okay. Trees are information. So that's why. So I'm going into something different than what I actually, what I believe in. So when I say that, there's certain things that I do because of my belief. But guess what? I have direct evidence. I have direct evidence of my manifestations. I have direct evidence of what it looks like when I'm writing down. I have journals. I could have brought that shit and showed y'all. My whole skits book is a manifestation journal because everything I wrote down there, I recorded. You get what I'm saying? So the power of writing down a vision is pretty much an homage to your own self and a declaration to your own self that you're going to do it. And when you love yourself enough to push past fear, I feel like you conquer that, so
that's real.
I'm always push past fear now.
Hey,
that's facts. That's facts. That's a good place to end it right there. No more. It's like, no, I was going to say that was the perfect.
No, but look, you had said something earlier that I did want to touch back on because you said we talked about talent and lack of preparation, but I want to talk about what it looks like when talent meets preparation.
Yeah.
And I say that because we talked about social media and this is not to shamelessly plug, but I had the honor of playing lead in a movie earlier this year. It's called Stoners. It's very lit, literally.
Gotta check that out.
But Circle 7, Stan Long wrote it from Spotlight Over the City. I'm not sure if y'all are aware of another podcast, Bomb Show, that's going on, Stan and Terry Long of Spotlight Over the City. So Stan wrote it. And the movie Stoners is, I'm going to attribute it to like a Friday. Like, the writing is so good. It was shot well. The acting, phenomenal. So this is what I was getting at because we were talking about influencers, followings, and stuff like that. Well, my castmates, first of all, were phenomenal, okay? We're talking about Goofy's Terry Jones, Jeff Shelley out of Texas, and we're talking about Paul, Jerry. This is the main cast is us four,
Right.
and it just embarks on a journey of these friends, you know, who potheads but still be trying to get shit done, you know. Right. But one thing I will say, this is what we're talking about when we're saying the influencers with the followers, because you got two of these powerhouse comedians on set, three including me.
Right.
She a comedian too.
Have you checked out my skit?
At 6.
No, but this is what I mean by, like, no, don't get me wrong, because all of them respect, especially Paul. He's Paul Jerry is an actor as well, who's killing the game. Right. Jeff, even though he's a social media icon, influencer, like, he still has a huge following, comedic, funny guy, but and so is Terry Goofy Jones, Goofies. Right. And when I tell y'all, regardless of the fact that these are comedians that do stand-up, they were so dedicated and committed to their characters, right? All of us was. To the point, though, where we're on set, we might be just running our lines, and now we're like, yo, you should say this.
That's real.
And then I'm going to say this. Okay, cool. Okay, you say this, I'm going to say that. Okay, now we go. When I tell you, it was so much synergy. It was so much, like, we were just flowing on set. And shout out to the director Cricket, and the DP J5.
Hey. Because
the director said this is called Stoners. So, baby, we're going to smoke. And when I say we really smoked it out. Like, oh, my God. But we had so much fun. I mean, everybody was still professional. We banged this shit out. But the synergy on set, when you show up prepared, you give yourself the power and the permission to just perform. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, the characters sometimes develop even more on set, because you're so rooted in who you are and your character that now you got time to play. Yeah. So that's how I like to run my sets. We're going to have fun, but we're going to get shit done. Okay? So the only time you see me having fun on set is because everybody showed up to work ready. Yeah.
Work hard, play hard, literally.
Everybody showed up to work ready. So guess what? We got in between them takes, we can cut up. And that's how it was on set for Stoners. Yeah. Like, everybody, showed up so dedicated, regardless of their social media status. They showed up saying, I'm bigger and I'm more than my followers. Mm-hmm. I'm a real fucking actor. And when I tell y'all, these men, these actors, these entertainers showed up as that, and which I didn't expect anything less, especially working with Goofies before. Like, I didn't expect anything less, but just to get on that and just have that moment of freedom on set as an actor, live for those moments. Live for those moments of freedom to be this character, because that's what I signed up for. Right. Yeah. So yes, I'm really excited for that production, and one I just got done doing too.
Yeah, let them know what's coming up,
because this was a journey for my character. I just wrapped a movie, a full feature as well. This is from Hunger for Distribution. Nice. That's who shot it. Nice. The writers, Dana and Brian Hungerford, right? And this was a play that ended up adapting to a movie. And the play had an amazing run. This is like when COVID was about to happen. Like, so we had to be shut down there. Everybody was shut down. Then we ended up running the play in 2022 at Bethesda Jazz and Blues. It sold out weekend, killed it. Like, and we ended up taking the play on to North Carolina. Did well there too, and then it got adapted into a movie. So I just finished that production. And very dope. When I tell y'all, remember I said I have original release. I'm talking about. I told y'all I had this script since 2019. Yeah. So I've been this character a few times, and shout out to me. And I'm gonna say this why, because baby shows up to audition. And I don't give a fuck if I've already got the role.
Hey, there you go.
You hear me?
There you go.
I don't care that I've already booked the room.
Like it's the first time.
I don't care that I've already booked the room and I got the role, okay? So I show up like that. Yeah. Right. Yes, absolutely. I show up to work. 100%. And so I just wanted to just shout out that whole, the cast, crew, from the play to the production of the movie, because it was such a journey. And the greatest part of that is this. the same acting class that I met Roger, who I spoke with earlier, and I met Dana in as well. And she became like this little big sister because she's older than me, but she's small. But we look alike. We kind of look alike. We go ahead, girl. So that was my dog. Like, she took me under her wing. And I met her in acting class, and she ended up sharing with me from this performance and acting class. She's like, from that moment, you didn't know this, but I knew you were Angela. And I was like, damn, man, this was an acting class in 2015, you know? But I'm saying that because to not only have a front row seat in it, to have a front row seat with my friend, my sister, and watch her whole experience come to life. I love when our own creatives, when we can support each other, right? And when we see completion. So that's what I was like,
Facts.
We know some what Tubi used to produce, but at least they're completed projects. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta always pay homage to the fact that a project is complete.
Because that's tough.
So, you know what I'm saying?
So many shit start and don't
so
finish.
Much starts and nobody gets to complete it. So I always have respect for any artist who starts this project, who starts with the writing, who starts with it written first, and then says, I want to have a conversation about this.
That's the initiative.
Gathers motherfuckers to come.
Then we gather.
You know
then we're
saying?
filming. Then we
tell
have a
people to come
product
multiple days. We had talked about this before. The act of getting people to meet multiple days, like that is tough in itself. You know what I'm saying? Like just getting everybody's schedules together, one place, multiple times in a week or in a month or whatever. Like thing, that, all of the it's so hard. It's such a lift.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It is.
So like as we're talking about it, I'm sitting here saying, no, that's thinking like that's actually a really big lift. It don't matter how terrible the movie ends up being. It really don't matter.
It's not just like terrible.
No, I'm not talking about that movie. I'm just saying because we talked about Tubi stuff. So I'm just saying like in general, like it don't matter how bad a production ends up being. The fact that everybody came together to see it through to the end is commendable in itself.
Yes, it is. So 100%. Just to have a front row seat, like just to be a part of the project, but just to experience watching someone that I care about and love and admire and inspired by achieve certain goals too from all this year. So
that's so beautiful.
It's a marathon.
Hell yeah. Shout out.
It's a journey.
Hell yeah.
So no matter what it is that you're doing, if you're setting yourself out to reach a goal, give yourself time to experience it and to enjoy it. Because no doctor wakes up and says, hey, I'm going to go in surgery tomorrow. No, they got to go to medical school, baby.
Yeah.
8 years.
True shit.
So does lawyers. So for anybody who has a dream that is on the creative side, give yourself time.
Yeah.
Give yourself tenure before you feel like, oh, it's not happening. Guess what? There are people who wake up tomorrow and decide to be actors.
Right.
And they can have a flourishing career. So why don't you or anybody think that you can't take a break and come back or start and stop at any moment, especially when you got knowledge behind you? Right. So this is to any actor or any creative out there that is feeling doubt or feeling themselves. We get in those ruts.
100%.
You know what I do when I get in those ruts? I look at my resume.
Hey.
Need a little pick me up. Need a little pick me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've done this before. Yeah, don't act like you don't do this. Don't act like you don't do this. Yeah, facts.
Get back in.
Yeah, facts.
Get back in the fucking ring.
That's actually a great point. I go back and look at like videos I've made. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta remind yourself.
Give yourself credit. You know remind yourself of where you came from, where you're going, and then just take notes on what you know that you can do better and do it. Give yourself permission to do it gently.
Gem.
There it is.
That's a gem. Please tell everybody where they can reach out to if they're trying to follow up, because I know they're gonna try to catch these premieres.
They're gonna try premieres. They're gonna try. You gotta get some acting students. You gotta get some acting students.
Support Black art
at all times.
Support your friend's art.
There you go.
Support your friend's art. Even if you don't understand it, support them.
That's real.
But anywho, you can reach me at all my socials are the same. Teranee Fransha Official. You can also, because I am going to be, myself and my business partner, Stefan Belton, Shout out to my DP. He's the best undiscovered DP.
Tough. We won't find
Y'all
out.
mark my words on this podcast.
We gonna find out soon.
Heard it here first.
But also at D8 Cinema, we have a new Instagram page where we're going to be looking for interns. Definitely seeking out students that want to learn, dedicated. But definitely follow me on all of my socials. Teranee Fransha official. Y'all gonna put it on there?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
That's gonna be right there.
Let me make sure they can spell it for y'all.
You don't even gotta spell it out. It's gonna be right there for you.
That's what I was making sure. So yeah, and you know, just follow me. Keep up with me.
They gonna do that.
Support me or not. I mean, I'm not gonna stop. But
either you gonna follow me, you gonna see me around. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like
one way or another, you gonna see me.
That's right.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm a pretty cool chick.
We appreciate you so much.
And you're a good follow. You're a good follow. Like your content is interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You got skits on there. It's good.
It's diverse.
Yeah.
Got all types of type of content.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you.
You want me being, just make some little short to it. You got a short attention span. There you go.
I got a little 30 seconds for you.
Right. I'll meet you where you at. Nah, for sure. But appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you coming through, having this conversation with us. This has been so dope.
We're going to have to have you back on when one of these drop.
Yeah.
So,
heck yeah.
We got to pull up to one of these premieres, too.
Yeah.
Like, that's no joke.
For sure.
That's
We're doing that. Of course.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to just send y'all a bunch of dates.
Yeah.
There it is.
Shit, I mean, when this
make something happen. Yeah, but thank you again for allowing me just the opportunity to just have a voice, and express myself, and all of your supporters and viewers. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, because I know that the people that you're gonna have sitting in this chair or any other chair, but in front of this mic, is gonna have something to say. So thank you.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Y'all know to subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and we'll see y'all next week. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Early.
Early.